Episode 25.
Dukes of Weebdom.
Dukes of Weebdom. Special week.
Yep. I was going to say special day.
Special day.
Special day.
It is, yeah. Special day. Not week, but you know what I meant.
Top 10 video games.
Top 10 video games. With some honorable mentions. We'll go with those first. But, this was much harder list to put together for me than it was for the anime.
It was harder for me for a while until one night I talked to my partner about it. And I went to go to bed. I sat down and looked at it. And I was like, huh. Well, I think this would be the bottom one. I like you a little more. I like you. I think I like you more. And I think I like you more. And I think and then like 10 or 15 minutes, I was like, oh, it's done. And that just kind of feels right.
See, so what I did, the first two... Well, because, alright, so I'll say this first. For your list of the anime top 10s, I guessed at least 3 titles that would be at least somewhere on your list.
Right now I could say like probably 2 off your list. If I think about it harder.
I know 1 title that's probably on your entire list. That's it. For me...
I definitely know 1 of them.
You know 2 of them, 100%. So the first 2, we won't spoil anything, but the first 2 were easy breezy. I was just like, okay, boom, boom.
Breezy.
But then trying to figure out the rest, I was switching titles. I was like, I don't know what's just going where.
I did none of that. Once it was in place, because my number 1, I had the moment we made the idea. I was like, that's 1.
For a while, what I was doing was just trying to go off brain power, right? So I was just thinking about it, because 1 and 2 are easy for me. I knew those. I've known those forever. I've just never thought past 1 and 2 in my life. So, all right, now we're trying to quantify it into a list. So let me think about this. And I was thinking about it, and I just couldn't even get a 3rd spot. I was like, what am I doing here? And then today, or not today, I don't know, yesterday, 2 days ago, sometime, I was going through my trophy list, because that covers PS3, PS4, and PS5 of every game I've ever played on those 3 systems. So I just did what I did with my anime list. I went to my anime list, the website, and just wrote down any anime that I was like, oh, I really like this, I really like this, I really like this, and then lowered it from there. I did the same thing here. As soon as I saw 1, I was like, oh, wait, yeah, no, that's definitely my 3rd favorite game.
I had like 15 that I had to cut from.
That's like somewhere around, I'd say, around the same, 15 or 16.
I could have put a bunch more, but there's some I was just like, no, I already know you're not going to. I love you to death, or I think you're a better game technically, but you're not my, like...
Mm-hmm. You're not your...
So I said that to my partner today, too. Like, if I was, like, going to say the best, just like with the anime list, if I was going to say the best versus my favorite, these would be different lists. Except for my number 1. In its genre.
That's just, yeah. I do say, because like today I was thinking about it because, you know, we talked this morning, just me say, hey, you got your list set? Yeah, your list is good. Yeah, mine's good too. And I've been sitting here thinking, I feel like I have this aching feeling that I'm forgetting the game.
I always have that feeling too. I've been sitting here as you were talking, I was like, what about that game? What about that game? I really liked making custom characters in that game. And I'm like, what do I value though? And I think this has my values.
I'm happy with my list too. Because what you know, but tell the audience, is that I have probably 95% of every game I've ever played, I still own that game. Yes. Whether it be hard copy or digital. Digital, not so much, because PS4 I had to delete stuff to fit new stuff. It just had to happen.
Those are always re-downloadable.
Yes, exactly.
This isn't Ubisoft.
That was wild when I read that. I was
that's some news. What? I've saved those videos. I read it, though.
I watched
on Twitter
the
first.
Synopsis of what it was.
Yeah, that's bad.
It's like, I think they're going to roll
Thank
that
God
back.
I hate Ubisoft. Oh, yeah, they're definitely going to.
Yeah. But, so I went through all my PS2 games, all my PS3 games.
So easy for you.
I opened a cabinet and they're all right there. And then this stack right here, PS2 games. I was thinking, too, we're going to get to the list soon, but I was thinking, I was like, is there any old school, like, NES games and Nintendo games, because I never owned any of those systems. Those games I would have played at someone else's house. But then I'm like, well, then because I never played them at my house, I never owned them, I never played them to the fullest. And I was thinking, well, there's no games that old anyway that would be on this list. So, but I'm happy with how my list came out.
I'm happy with how my list came out.
I got my 3 honorable mentions locked,
Same.
loaded, and ready to fire.
And I'd say, I just want to have one preface. As a big-time Diablo fan, I'm not putting Diablo anywhere on here because I'm still way too recent on it.
Recent, yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I love Diablo 3, and I like Diablo 2. I respect Diablo 2.
You respect it.
I respect Diablo 2.
Mm-hmm.
And Diablo 4, to me, just feels like an upgrade. I mean, there's obvious complaints. No game's perfect. But for me, it's like an upgrade of everything in 3. But I'm still too close to it to say, like, favorite.
Yeah, top 10 of all time type thing. Yeah.
So my favorite time sink right now, for sure, though. I do just love logging on and just no-braining.
Right.
Little braining when I have to build.
Actually, real quick, too, to completely segue away from this for half a second.
Yes.
Just to get you angry at me. I no-brained something yesterday. I watched almost an entire anime series yesterday.
Oh my god.
A 24-episoder.
Oh my god.
I'm on like episode 21. Summertime rendering.
Well, I've only heard good things of it, though.
Oh, yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's definitely... So it's coming to the close, so it's a mystery type thing. So all animes that are mystery type animes are better the earlier in the series you watch them.
The more you have to
The more
conjecture.
you're thinking about it and trying to put the pieces together, that's always the fun of the mystery. Once it gets close to the end where you have all the pieces that you're putting together, it's never going to live up to the same thing, like the suspense aspect's gone, you know what I mean? But I'm liking it. I'm really enjoying it. I'll be finished with it by the next episode, and maybe I'll give some thoughts on it. But you said time sync, and that was just my day yesterday. I was like, because I watched Mushoku Tensei, and it was the only Sunday thing that I had to watch. Everything else comes on Saturday. I was like, damn, I kind of just want to keep watching.
Thursday.
Yeah, I watched that on midnight on Thursday night because I opened Facebook right before bed, and I saw the screenshot of the aftermath of Gojo's fight, and I was like, oh, that just came out. Well, I guess I'm going to bed
I gotta do
20
that.
minutes instead of right now. So I watched that. But on Sunday, I was like, damn, it was early, and I stayed home. My wife and my son went out to her parents' house, so like most of the day to myself. So I'm like, I just want to veg and do something. So I watched almost the whole anime series.
God damn.
Yeah. But anyway, back to the list.
Yes, indeedy.
So we're just gonna jump right into it, I guess. I mean, there's no more of this foreplay.
No.
Let's just jump right into it. First honorable mention. Go. What do you got?
Oh, me first?
Yeah.
I'm going to Star Wars Battlefront 2 for the PS2.
Specify.
For the
Honestly,
PS2.
that's the one I knew would be on your list. I didn't think it would be an honorable mention.
It is an honorable mention.
I have a surprise one that's in my honorable mentions that you would think would be in the top 10, but we'll get to
Just
that.
really quick, I mean, most of these I'm actually not going to have like a crazy amount to talk about, especially the honorable the honorable mentions I might have more to talk about than some of the ones on my list. But Battlefront 2, infinitely replayable, some of the best maps.
That space combat, though.
Space combat was incredible.
Jedi's felt balanced.
Being able to dock in the enemy ship, take over their turrets to shoot like their own systems and shit.
So good. Speaking of which, it's
Perfect.
right here.
Yes.
And we gotta pop it in that PS2.
Landing the troop carrier so that your people can respawn inside their ship.
Was pod racing in that one?
No.
A good thing.
Yes. Pod racing had its own nice little game.
It did. I actually played that game too.
It's actually not a bad game.
It's not.
I hated it as a kid because it's so easy to break down, but like the older I get, the more I can understand.
It's so fast.
Yeah. That's F-Zero vibes right there.
Yeah. Fucking wild. But no, yeah, Battlefront 2, it's a classic, and EA had, well, I say the same thing about Spider-Man 2 that's coming in the end of this year.
Big shoes to fill.
Big shoes to fill, because Spider-Man 2 for the PS2, which I thought I still had, which I don't, which is sad. I should like buy that, but I'm sure it's probably expensive online. But
because it's wanted.
for Battlefront 2, when they came up the EA one, I was like, you got to fill the same shoes. You should have named it something else.
Didn't.
And they didn't. Well, I mean, it's popular. A lot of people still play. I still see
Yes,
some.
it did have a resurgence after they got back off the loot box fiasco they had.
Yeah. But, I mean, it was never for me. I don't think I even... Yeah, no, I didn't even play the EA one.
Well, they also switched to first person in that one, so... When the old one was third person, for sure.
It was, yes. Oh, so good.
One of the only third person games I like, too. Third person shooting games, that is.
Yes.
There's one James Bond game, but I didn't even get halfway through that game.
Third person shooters is rough.
It's tough, yeah.
It is very tough. You need that first person aspect.
Yeah. It's just perfected. But
mine is also in this stack of games. Need for Speed Underground 2.
Ooh.
So my list is going to have a running theme in my list. A genre. Specific genre of games.
Mine's quite mixed, actually.
This is the only racing game that's on here, and it's just because I'm not a big racing gamer anyway. But this game,
I'm like a closet racing gamer. It's weird.
You never play racing games though.
I know, but I used to fuck with Burnout 3 a lot.
Oh, Burnout's such a good game
I fucked
too.
with Need for Speed, the one my dad really liked.
Yeah.
I forget which one it is, but I fucked with that hard.
The one on the Switch or the Wii? Which one did he play?
Oh, I think he played it on Wii. It was one of the open worldy ones.
Yeah, well, this one's kind of open worldish too. You saw me playing it last week.
I fucked with Mario Kart. I fucked with F-Zero back in the day. I kind of am a closet racing gamer.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. Well, Mario Kart. I mean, I love. Yeah. Everyone loves a good Mario Kart.
Everyone does love Mario Kart.
But for Need for Speed Underground 2, I don't even remember why I got it, because I've never played. I mean, I played with your dad sometimes, like late at night.
That one's really good, man.
It is, and he'd just be like, "You want to play a race?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." But this one, it's for the PS2. It's an old one, and I just don't remember why I got it or decided to get it, but I did, and it just something about it, man. I just love it. The soundtrack is fire. The being able to control the in-car radio.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I just love that game. I was playing it last week before the podcast because I had some time. You saw me playing it. I finished a race that right before we started recording. But I don't know. It's just great. But then it's just something that I felt. There's other games that I like more than this that could have been in the honorable mentions. But I'm like, this has to be an honorable mention because it's my favorite racing game. It's a favorite of that genre, so it should be in my honorable mentions.
Maybe I should lead with the next one then.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
This isn't my favorite of the genre, but put it there as a second favorite because it's probably my favorite genre. Roguelite, but I picked Loop Hero for an honorable mention because it is such a unique roguelike.
I'm actually not familiar with that one.
I know, I'm not surprised. It's also a very cheap game. So, you spawn into the map. I'm not even going to do the development stuff. And there's a loop that your little pixel hero is going to run around. You don't control him. You can pause it to make decisions. But he'll just go, and he'll go into combat, and he'll attack. You control putting down terrain that'll decide what enemies spawn on the loop. You control what equipment to put on him. And you just try to get through a certain amount till the boss spawns.
That's very interesting.
It's very novel. You're doing all the gearing, but you're also setting up the challenges that'll prepare him to be ready for the boss.
See, that's not a game you would think would be a game type deal.
That's what I mean. It's so novel.
Yes, in the same way, like my wife and her mom. Her mom used to play MMOs with her way back when. That's how my wife got into MMOs. And
I love that.
The first MMO that my wife played was a text MMO.
Oh, damn.
It was just text on a screen. That was the only thing it was, yeah. And I was like, they made those kind of things? She'd be a better person to ask about it. I mean, she's told me about it before, but that's like the one part that stood out. There's no... You are no character. There's nothing. It's literally just words on a screen. And that was the first one she played. And I was like, wow, interesting. So it's always nice to hear about those novelty kind of games that are just kind of out there.
Unique.
Yes. but that's pretty cool.
It's very replayable. There's
Now-
a lot of progression systems.
When you put down this terrain and then you get equipped, does the boss come into this loop, or do you move into new loops?
The way it is there's a little camp that just is the end of the loop. So at the end, you'll get healed, and you can decide if you want to leave or not. So after you place a certain amount of terrain, filling up the black map around the loop, and you can place them on the loop too. After it fills up a certain amount, the boss spawns on the camp. So you either will have to take them on or choose to leave.
I see.
And there's different classes you can pick too.
That's cool.
It's very interesting.
What system is it on?
Switch.
Switch. So it's not a newer game, or is it a new game?
I want to say a couple
just
years
a
ago,
port?
maybe.
Is it a port or just?
It's just a new game. Yeah, it's just an indie game. I wouldn't be surprised if Solo developed either.
Very interesting. So my second honorable mention is Warriors Orochi 4.
Oh, baby. Ooh.
Because I had to put a Warriors game on here.
I almost put DW4, but I didn't.
Dynasty Warriors 4. Listen, Dynasty Warriors 4 I'll actually mention too as another honorable mention, because that's the game that got me into the Warriors franchise, and it's just such
I love
a classic.
it enough to be a
and
honorable mention.
Yes, but the reason I chose Warriors Orochi 4 is because it's the best Warriors game there is, in my opinion.
I still like the Dynasty Warriors we fucked with.
It's like 6 or 7 or 8 in that.
I want to say
in that range.
Because I think 9 is the newest one, or the one where they went to a single player game.
Yes, well, the newest one's ass.
Yeah,
which
I know
is 9.
6 was ass. So it was either 7 or 8 that we really fucked with. Where there was even like a tile board for like missions to do.
I think yes, I do remember that.
We tore through that.
So, but I like Warriors Orochi because you have the Samurai Warriors characters in there too. You have the Dynasty Warriors, and then you got all of the characters. So you can't be like, oh, this character's not in 7, but I like 7, but he's in 4 or he's in 8.
Everyone
is in.
And 3 at a time.
Yes, and you get to control 3 characters once. You could slide.
And the magic system was good in that one.
It was.
For a new system that they're only going to put in one game, it was actually really good.
Yes, and I played the game twice too. So we played it way back in the day, and then we bought it again like 2 years ago, and I
do
played
like the Warriors Orochi 3 system more, where everyone had like 2 special moves to do. It's the magic system, but like kind of more grounded.
Because we did both play Warriors Orochi 3 as well.
Oh yeah,
I remember us.
but still, the magic system was good.
Yeah, but Warriors games in general. I mean, there's so many of them too, because there's like the Fate one. I really like that one.
I've played a lot of the Pirate Warriors ones, the One Piece ones.
Yes, that one's good too. And the Gundam one's not half bad. I played that one.
I still have a grudge against the Fate ones, actually, for having the worst maps, worlds, and enemies that a Fate game has ever seen.
I'm just a Fate simp.
No, and
so
I like the characters and how they play. But
and Alexander's in it, so you know what I mean. And Gilgamesh, and it's like all the best characters. So it's just like, even though I will agree with you, the game is just
every other way
pitifully easy too, because it's like there's
no
no challenge.
All gotten like that though. Well, Warriors Orochi 4, actually, I've died in Warriors Orochi 4, so
yes.
To be fair,
but it's the best Warriors game in my opinion. It's the latest one. Again, I'm just still hopeful for Dynasty Warriors 10. I'm on that copium.
I am also on that copium. That'll be good. I'm sure it's
that
inevitable.
Too, yes. I don't know. Dynasty Warriors 9 was a long time ago. There's been
it is, yeah, but they're not just
Warriors
stop.
Orochi...
Samurai Warriors 4 wasn't a long time ago.
True, but Warriors Orochi 3 and 4 have come out since the last Dynasty Warriors game.
And Samurai Warriors 4.
Yes.
That's the one where they went to like more traditional dresses.
And I'm sure there's a bunch of other Warriors games that have come out since as
well.
Oh,
yeah. I think they just did another of the Fire Emblem one.
Oh, yeah. They call Persona Strikers a Warriors game. It's not.
It's not. It's not W Force Omega.
No. It's a Persona game with Warriors-esque combat.
Yep. It's all in the developers.
Yes.
My next one?
What's your last, or do you have 4?
No, I'd put 3 honorable mentions.
All right, so did I. So what's your last honorable mention?
I actually almost forgot to even put this on the list till my partner mentioned it. They're like, oh yeah, this will be on your list, because he was doing some pot shot guesses. And I was like...
The face.
Fallout New Vegas.
Oh, yeah, the
Well,
best one, the best
The
Fallout.
best one, one of the best, honestly, RPGs in general.
See, I've played Fallout New Vegas briefly, and that's the only Fallout I've ever played.
It's also one of the most like janky, to be fair too.
True.
It is incredibly janky, but it is.
It's
still,
just I don't know. Fallout isn't a game that gripped me personally.
you're
as
already not a
franchise.
first-person shooting guy, so a first-person shooting game that handles really, really badly on top of it. Like I'm a VATS gamer in that game. I just spec into VATS. But I mean, that's kind of enough said. Fallout New Vegas.
Fallout New Vegas. Yeah, I mean, anyone that's played it, I'm sure. I mean,
I still have never beaten it, but that's because I got on it late.
yeah, I mean,
I was more like I wasn't ready for it when I first got to it.
true. But I mean, I know you've played multiple characters, though, haven't you? Like multiple
New
spec outs.
Vegas? No, 4, yes.
Oh.
But I still like New Vegas more. Like it's almost like I
Well,
I
when
wish I
4
got on
came
it.
out, I heard a lot of bad things about 4. To be
Yeah,
honest
it's
with you.
kind of toned down the RPG side of it.
But not as much as what's that other Fallout game?
Oh yeah,
Really?
76.
76. That was the really
I
bad.
think that's what really hurt Fallout in my life. Yeah.
So
New Vegas.
my last honorable mention, which will surprise you, Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core.
Doesn't surprise me that much. It's
Uh,
gonna be a very tight list of JRPGs.
yeah.
You ain't fooling nobody, I know.
No. So I thought about it, and honestly, when it came up, I was like, yeah, it was definitely a contender. It was one of the first things I wrote down too when I was going through. I was like, okay, yeah, this is going on there because I don't know if I've mentioned it on the podcast, and I know you already know this, obviously, but I prefer Crisis Core to 7.
Ooh.
I like Crisis Core more than I like 7.
It's
Original.
more fun.
Original.
Yeah. It's more
So it's also the one I played it first too, because I already knew the story of 7. Basically, we'd watched
Yeah.
that at children. I got into Final Fantasy late, by
Same.
the way, so I already knew about it. 7 was already a thing. I knew 7, Crisis Core, and Dirge of Cerberus, and I knew the timeline. So I was like, well, might as well play it
See how it is.
chronologically. So I played Crisis Core first, then I went into 7. So I fell in love with Zack first, so I like Zack better than I like Cloud. Especially reiterates that when about 2/3 of the entire game of 7 you're playing, Cloud thinks he's Zack anyway, so
So even he thinks he's better.
Zack is just the superior character. And
Aerith's true love.
yes, but I was also thinking about it. I was like, I replayed the new one, the Rebirth.
Yeah.
Really good. I liked it. Obviously, they didn't add new content. It was just
Fair.
it was just all graphical. New
Yeah.
voice actors. I mean, maybe some of the animations changed, but for the most part, the whole game is basically the same. There might have been some small. Because it's been so long since I played the original, and I didn't watch any comparison videos.
Yeah. I never do.
So, but I was thinking about it, it's like, the chances of me playing this game again, very slim. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
replayability was something I was thinking about, and I was like, that was just like something I was like, I don't think I'd probably ever replay it, or if I do, it's going to be very, very long for now.
Yeah.
Now, like, nostalgia bait type stuff, like, way later. So, that's why it fell
Or when
into
they
the-
ruined Zack's character in the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Well, then I'll just pretend that Final Fantasy VII Remake is just a fucking fanfic. And I'll be alright.
The Nomura fanfic.
Please. Please! But those are the end of the honorable mentions. So without further ado, your top 10.
Number 10. Borderlands 2.
Actually, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Great fucking game.
I've replayed it to absolute death and back.
Same, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I played it so much that the future games even felt worse, even though they just were worse.
I still haven't played the DLC that I was most excited for that game, which is now its own full game. The Tiny
Which is actually
Tina,
pretty good.
the
I
Tiny
haven't
Tina
beaten it.
one.
Yeah,
But
I like the class building because it actually the way it incorporates like D&D into it is actually kind of nice.
So I did start it, but my problem was I started that at the end of True Vault Hunter mode before they added the next Vault Hunter mode in.
Yeah.
So, and how DLCs work, for anyone who doesn't know, in Borderlands 2, is whatever level you start the DLC with is what the enemy's level starts with, and is predetermined that as you go through at certain points in its story, the enemy's level goes up.
Yeah, it sets the scale based on where you started it.
But because I was already max rank level, before they increased the level cap, the experience does not scale.
Ooh.
So I was going through, and they were greatly outpacing my level. So it got really rough. So I couldn't do it. So if I wanted to play it, I'd have to respec a character. But
yeah, that respec a character or just make a new one and
that's
go
what
in
I
there.
mean,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
But now at this point, though, Tiny Tina's Wonderland is literally the same fucking game, basically.
Again, it's more built in at that point too. Like when you pick a class, like, and when you level up, you actually have attribute points and shit, and you get a subclass later. Like,
but yeah, that's just a fucking boss game. That's a banger. I mean, Handsome Jack is amazing.
3's gameplay was really good, and I'd even argue 3's gameplay, like moment to moment, was better, like gunplay wise. But the story was so incredibly bad.
Was it?
It was so bad.
Because I tried, I tried playing the pre-sequel, and I couldn't get through that.
I even liked the pre-sequel, especially looking back after 3 now. But remember when 3 came out, I was like, oh man, I'm even going to get it for you so you could play it with us. And then by the time I'm done with the story, I'm like, I would want to recommend playing this game.
Yeah, I bought the bundle that came out way later, so I technically
the Handsome Collection.
Yes, I own all of them now because 3 came with that, right? Or was that
No.
pre-sequel?
It was pre-sequel to all of the DLCs.
Oh,
And then they remastered 1 separately, but for like really cheap, like $20.
yeah.
But I also think 1's not worth replaying. I tried replaying it, and I'm like,
I watched you play 1.
Yeah, it's
back in the day, and then
it's very
you guys
brown.
peer pressured me into getting 2, so I did.
Which is worth.
Yeah, it was so worth. Because again, not a big shooter game, but that, I did see it, and I maybe should have put it in my honorable mentions too. But I mean, now that you put it there, we're talking about it.
Yeah, that's all. That's what matters.
It's probably up there, either the first or second of my favorite shooters.
Mm-hmm.
In contention with Area 51 on PS2.
It's looking like my second favorite shooter, though. I mean, my favorite shooter is probably going to be Apex, but I didn't put that on this list because as far as gunplay and movement and all those things, Apex got that shit down pat.
Well, yeah, they kind of need that to be if they want to stay relevant. You know what I mean?
But as far as shooters that also have a story to them, there's one more on my list.
Oh, nice.
Pass it off to you.
So, I cheated with number 10.
I cheated on one of mine as well,
So, when I was compiling my list, number 10 came down to 3 different games that are all very similar to each other in theme, but vastly different from each other in a myriad of other ways.
Sounds like way more cheating than mine is.
Yes. So, because I was thinking, I was like, so I got to 10, and I was like, all right, which of the 3 of these do I like better than the other 2?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I could not decide. So it's God of War 2018, Ghost of Tsushima, and The Witcher 3.
Okay, that makes more sense now.
They're all AAA, massive open world.
The Witcher's the only one that's a little more RPG than the other 2.
Yes, but
I still get where you're coming from. It plays a lot like God of War would.
They all play similarly.
Moment to moment feel.
Yeah, Witcher 3 is definitely more the outliner here. It's like
that is cheating to the highest degree.
That's what I mean. So
dude.
it's just 3 it's just like, I don't know. It's just, I just threw it there. I couldn't decide between the three. So I was like, it's just the one. There's no others that I really cheat with.
My cheat's such a more understandable cheat.
Okay. Well, I mean, I could have probably... I mean, God of War 2018 and Ghost of Tsushima are closer in the aspect that they're very heavily story-driven.
Oh, yeah, those two I would absolutely slap in the same bag. They're also PlayStation exclusives.
PlayStation exclusives. But it's...
The Sony
really
AAA story game.
Yeah, the cheat part would be putting The Witcher 3 in that list. But because The Witcher 3 is definitely way more roleplay. Because it's literally roleplay because the decisions you make in the game outcome the ending and other aspects.
There's actual
of
player
the
choice. It's a roleplay even by my definitions.
Yes. And the other two are much more... Ghost of Tsushima, man, that game is just so beautiful. It's just gorgeous. And such a good game. And I definitely recommend it to you. If I had a physical copy, I'd give it to you to let you play it, but I don't. I downloaded it on PS4. God, that game slaps.
How about Sekiro instead?
God of War 2018 slaps. I think God of War 2018 is better than Ragnarok.
I did notice you picked 2018 over Ragnarok here. I expected Ragnarok to be there because you said 2018 and then you had two more. So I was like, oh, so Ragnarok's coming. And you're like, no. Tsushima, Witcher 3, and just like morbs.
So Ragnarok is a great game. And but it's just, it is
Lightning
amazing.
Didn't strike twice in the same spot.
It's so, if I, like, this is just numbers I'm throwing out there. I haven't given it any thought. If I was to give God of War 2018 a 9.5, I'd give Ragnarok a 9 in rating. That's not ratings I'm actually giving them. That's just something.
That's actually pretty fair for the middle of trilogies, too.
Yeah.
That aren't Lord of the Rings, because The Two Towers is the best one.
It's all one continuous, glorious movie, in my eyes. Or are you talking about the games?
No, the movies. But the games, too, actually. The Two Towers is the best one.
Because there is a Fellowship of the Ring game.
I know. We talked about this on this podcast.
Yeah, I played it.
And I said I can't even imagine it being good. I
still say that. I mean, Two Towers has better levels.
We travel and then we fight the Nazguls. Game over. We're done.
There is more.
Or is it hunt the hobbits as Gandalf? You actually have to collect them first.
Nah, there's some other stuff in there.
Try to sleep in the hay bales with Aragorn.
The Two Towers has better. The Two Towers has the Helm's Keep ones, which is really good. But the Return of the King one has the more fleshed out, better combat.
It has played Gandalf.
And it has Minas Tirith, which just throws more enemies at you at once. But
I didn't get that far into the third game, so
we're gonna play it sometime.
Absolutely.
But those are my three, and yeah, that's number 10.
Time for my only JRPG.
Number 9.
Kinda. My only more traditional JRPG.
Lay it on me.
Kingdom Hearts 2. Still made it on the list.
Not a single Kingdom Hearts on my list.
Hey! It was my favorite game as a kid. Straight up.
Yeah. And honestly, so
2's the best one.
Battlefront 2, Kingdom Hearts, and there's one other game, but I'm not going to say are the two that I thought you would at least put somewhere on your list or in the honorable mentions. Not necessarily Kingdom Hearts 2, but Kingdom Hearts in general. Because we were... No, I just mean any one of them. Yeah. I knew, all right.
But you knew that there's a good 50-50.
There was a Kingdom Hearts.
Of the series is good.
We used to theorycraft Kingdom Hearts in your basement.
I loved Kingdom Hearts, man. I used to bring the Kingdom Hearts 2 strategy guide to school with me to reread. Reread. Those pages were falling out because I would just whip this shit out of my backpack and just flip through it.
Yeah.
Read again why I haven't gotten master form.
Do you know, I remember that. Do you still have that book? Because I remember it now because there's a whole page for master form.
I probably don't. I probably threw it away.
Damn. I mean,
treasured memories, but yeah, I'm not going to open that shit again.
True.
Especially now.
I still say, man, you got to beat Kingdom Hearts 3 just to finish the story.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's downloaded.
It's a beautiful game. I know you don't like the attractions.
Look real nice.
They do make the game super easy. It's the easiest Kingdom Hearts game because you're playing on proud mode on the other games, and it's like
Oh yeah, you're struggling.
you're struggling. You can die at any point, but proud mode in this one, nah.
And Birth by Sleep deserves a mention for having the
Oh.
best fucking combat.
So fucking good, so good.
The combat in Birth by Sleep was so good that 3 tried to rip it back off.
Yes,
Facts.
Facts.
The styles came straight from fucking 3.
yeah, facts.
Super facts. The fact that they even upgrade into like a stronger
Kingdom
form.
Hearts' problem was that from 2 to
Mechanic
3
bloat.
were way too many years, and they tried complicating the story,
The stories.
overcomplicating the story.
I can even forgive the terrible, terrible dialogue.
Well, it all stemmed right from. I mean, they picked it up pretty well, but in the beginning, Kingdom Hearts was meant to be a one-off, but they were so vastly popular that they had to make a new one. Then they made what? Chain of Memories was the second game.
Yes. Yep. Actually. Yep.
Because
And that
I
was
knew-
a Game Boy game.
Because I did research in the game. I already knew a lot of. We used to talk about it before I even played it. I played Kingdom Hearts 1 first, and then went into 2, knowing what was going on, and I was
That's nuts.
still confused.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know
anyone-
Chain of Memories existed when I played 2, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Who the fuck is this guy? Where's Sora? Why is Sora sleeping?
But it was
What
so
is
good.
going on?
Organization
But no.
13's a vibe. The final areas of fucking vibe. The world that never was.
Yes.
That was my Twitter banner. Was the logo for the world that never was.
Master form and perfect form are
The
fire.
forms in general, the Sephiroth fight, the Flood of Heartless fight,
Oh, fuck Sephiroth
all of the
fight.
organization fights.
Yeah. No, I 99%ed that game
God damn.
because I never beat Sephiroth.
I also never beat Sephiroth.
I didn't even.
Because I
beat
never got
him in
Master
one.
Form, so I didn't get Glide.
You never got Master form?
No.
Or perfect form? Because you
Whatever
need
the last one was.
perfect form.
Yeah.
Because you need Master form to get perfect form.
Yep, because it's a random chance anytime you use a form after you see Mickey in the world that never was. Which is like 2 boss fights
Well,
after that.
Well, that's where. Yeah, that's where you farm out.
And what? Sykes is the only one where you can even use forms. Because you can't use forms against Xemnas.
Nope. Because you fight him with Riku.
Yeah, so you get... Or
Ma-
backtracking.
You would obliterate Xemnas if you could use perfect form.
Oh my god, yes.
Same with Sephiroth. And everyone says listen, I made it way further in Sephiroth in 2 than I did in 1. I think 1 Sephiroth fight is harder.
I didn't fight him in 1, because I didn't get very far in 1, to be fair.
I did all of
But I
1
got
too.
nowhere against Sephiroth in 2, let me say. I got nowhere.
Yeah, if you don't have Glide, you're dead.
Yeah, and I
You
sure
also
didn't.
you also need that ability that if one attack would reduce, like if you have a high enough health
Oh,
pool and
yeah.
because that dash move through that he does and then it hits
That's
you.
what gets me.
You
That's
need
such
that.
a quick reaction.
You need that ability that leaves you with 1 HP.
My poor 16-year-old brain couldn't handle hitting it that fast.
Great game.
You, sir?
My number 9, Nier Automata.
Ooh. Actually, when did the Nier anime go on hiatus? After what episode?
8 or something like that. It's all right.
back.
First, it is, and
Yeah.
it's the audacity, to say that Core 2 is confirmed. Listen, bitches, finish season 1 before you announce that Core 2 got approved.
Yeah, I saw it in the updated.
Yeah, I did too.
Crunchyroll.
I just haven't finished.
Okay, just
haven't
wanted to
watched
make
it.
sure.
But I was aware that it got more. But no, that game it's good. It's solid, man. It's great storytelling.
I do plan to play that game too.
It's so good, and it just fucking pulls on the heartstrings. Its combat is just amazing. The music, so good.
the vibes. It's just vibes.
Yeah, it's just
And philosophy.
so good. It's just that's really all I can say. I mean, it's
Again,
just
there'll
like
be some of those on my list too. Trust me.
it's I struggle to try and find more to say to it other because it's like it's near 2B,
Yeah,
fucking 2B, you know?
the blindfolded androids hit.
Yeah. Well, not 9S. I fucking
That
loathe him.
nihilism hits.
I don't know why. I just don't like 9S. I find him annoying, and everyone loves him. And I'm just like, I hate this dude.
I'll find out eventually.
I honestly, I think you'd probably like him, but because everyone else does, and I think I'm just alone. In
I don't know. He
this.
seems like a little bitch boy. Not gonna lie. I don't think I will like
He's
him.
emotional.
I like stoic. I like my stoic boys.
No, he's definitely not that.
I like my stoic emo boys.
It's 2B. She's the stoic one.
So yeah, so I'll probably like 2B.
2B is great. I mean, he has character development. It's just there's certain points that I'm just like, I was just when it gets to the point where you get switched to forced to play him, the whole time I'm playing him, I just want to get back to playing as 2B.
Last of Us 2 syndrome.
Yes.
You're stuck as Abby.
But that's my number 9. Number 8.
The best roguelike. Risk of Rain 2.
No.
It's,
Nice.
hands down, that was one of the first ones I put on the list of possibilities. I was like, well, I know Risk of Rain 2 is going to be on there. Didn't expect it this low, but I know it's going to be on there.
I played it. I dig it, but
But it's like, it's almost like tailor-made for me.
yeah.
That's what I love. It's very arcadey. Puts on that power fast. The whole point of the game is pretty much breaking the game.
Yes.
It absolutely is.
Which I actually never got to that point because we never beat it.
We also
with me.
held out for the DLC, which has turned into a complete disaster.
Oh, for PlayStation or just the DLC in general?
Consoles in general.
Yeah.
It's turned into a disaster. Though, actually, all around. Because even the PC players that have the DLC are like, man, I actually saw a video from a content creator being like, I actually don't recommend getting this. It makes the game harder and worse.
Just play the vanilla game.
Yeah, and you know what? He is kind of right.
Savage.
I played it on PC a little bit, and the new enemy types just make the game, already very hard game, harder.
Sometimes difficulty doesn't equate to good.
New. But I do want to go back on that sometime. So we can have one of those godly runs where you're in like stage 10, and I go kill one thing. It explodes, spreads a fire debuff, summons assassin daggers that seek an enemy, kill it, and do all of those again.
And so you
To the
kill
point-
one enemy and it just clears the map?
And you just hear explosions going off all over. You hear the assassin daggers specifically because they're ching, whoosh, and then you just hear the more explosions. You're just looking around as your frame rate is dropping and dropping. And you're trying to avoid the explosions from one of the on-death effects. When you get to, like, I want to say past stage 10, these void robots start spawning. It almost feels like the game's like, fuck off, man, stop. Because when they die, they have a bubble around them that instantly deletes you, no matter what. Like, it is a 100% chance you die if it hits you. So you're, like, super speeding, quintillion jumping through the air over them while assassin daggers kill them for you. It's no other feeling like that.
Nice.
Ghosts shooting off of you as you sprint because you got that legendary now.
That was something too, because you mentioned how I just said how difficulty doesn't equate to good.
Yeah.
I say a good, like, ballpark to say a good difficulty Kingdom Hearts does is their proud mode difficulty in 1 and 2. That's
like
a
that.
nice. That's a nice perfect level type of difficulty. TB and I would say Dark Souls, some of those like 3 and Elden Ring.
I would put Elden Ring there too, yeah.
Because I haven't played, like, Demon Souls I hear was really rough, but like say like Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring, the beginning of the game is harder than it is as you go, because
Actually,
once you get more stuff, I found the early game to be harder for me because you have less health,
Less tools.
You know, the more you get into it. I mean, there's still stuff like boss levels that just still one-shot you with certain moves
blast ya.
as you go. But, like, on a base level of just, like, clearing out enemies in dungeons, I think Dark Souls is, like, that perfect thing where it's not too hard, and it's to the point where it just becomes an annoyance.
I actually put, like, for at least for me, for my progression with that, I put Vanilla Risk of Rain in there, Risk of Rain 2 in there as well. Because the way the game scales over time, it even shows you the way it's scaling. It's almost like it's teaching you every time. It's like, oh, get a little bit faster. Oh, no, this time you didn't get enough items. Like,
No.
it almost teaches you that sweet spot you need to be hitting.
Makes sense. Good, yeah.
Yeah.
Risk of Rain.
And I just respect a lot that they went from a 2D roguelike side-scrolling game to turning that same idea into fully 3D off of like the same really small dev team. Really small. Now they're not.
Because they have more members now?
No, Gearbox bought Risk Arena as a property.
Damn.
I think in my they haven't said this themselves, but my conspiracy theory is because of all the problems porting the DLC to console, they had to rebuild the whole game because they made a separate physics engine for the console, and they're trying to like unite it. Because of that and the problems with the DLC itself, I think they're like, we can't handle this anymore. We just want to make another game, and they sold that IP to Gearbox.
So they didn't sell their company; they sold the IP.
Just the IP. So I think they wanted to stop working on Risk of Rain.
That's unfortunate, though.
It is a little sad,
but we'll see what happens. Maybe Gearbox isn't a bad company. I mean, they did.
As long as they don't fuck with it too much,
right?
too. Like they put out 2 updates now. They actually showed like screenshots of them. Like, look, we still don't have a date, but look, here's us working on the physics build. This is us working on making progress. The code right.
Yeah.
It's like, look, we are actually working on this, but this is really hard. They literally have to remake the whole code for the game.
That's a lot of work, yeah.
And that's why I could see like a small dev team didn't want to have to go through that. But you're pretty much remaking the whole game.
I wouldn't want to do that.
No, but that's all.
So my number 8, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Ooh, I shouldn't be this surprised, actually.
I fucking love that game. But I even wrote on my list, in parentheses, Black Flag has to be mentioned when talking about
Creed.
Assassin's Creed Brotherhood is an Assassin's Creed game. Black Flag is a pirate game with an Assassin's Creed logo.
Oh my god! Sorry, there's a post where they're I think it was the Escapist posted saying Ubisoft is working on a remake / remaster of Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
I saw that today on Facebook. Because it was literally a post saying when Black Flag gets remastered. I was like, yeah, right. And I just clicked on it, and it was just a video of them driving the ship and the crew singing the she.
You know what I said as a comment? They're also working on a demake, Skull and Bones.
Nah.
Badoom.
Black Flag is just so. It is just that no. I want a pirate game that is a clone of and improved upon a Black Flag.
Like the core loops that includes landing and getting off your fucking boat
and jumping on the boat and combat. It's because they had the best thing because you had the Assassin's combat as a base for all the Assassin's Creed games, and then you could and then you had the pirate combat.
You know what that reminds me of? The Battlefront 2 space combat. It has layers. It has choices. It has.
You would think with me only talking about Black Flag, that should be the one. But Brotherhood is my Assassin's Creed game. Ezio Auditore di Firenze. I can't say his whole name, but Ezio Auditore is the assassin when I think about it. A lot of people say Altair because he's the OG from 1, but it's like Altair. Who is it? Altair walked so that Ezio could run, and Ezio, man, I just.
And how could they recapture that peak? Because that was your first peak for it, and then disappointment going from Revelations to 3, then back to Black Flag.
Well, because 2 was my first Assassin's Creed,
which is also high
base 2,
okay, so
which is a good game. Then I played. I don't remember where I played 1 in the mix. I played 1 somewhere in the Ezio trilogy. So I once I played 2, Assassin's Creed games were coming out almost yearly at that point because you had 2, then you had Brotherhood, which is 2, Revelations. Then it went to 3, which I didn't mind 3. It was definitely a step down from the entire trilogy I just played. Then it went back up again with Black Flag, which is such a great game. And then I also really like Syndicate.
Oh, yeah, you like Syndicate. You're part of the rare breed.
I enjoyed Syndicate a lot. And then Unity is a shit game. I played all of 20 minutes of that fucking game. That game is ass. Because they tried making Assassin's Creed an online game. They put way more focus on the online versus than they did the story, and his Unity just sucked.
And then they made the worst decision ever in making RPG.
Yeah. Origins is trash. Valhalla is trash. The Greek one is trash.
The one I bought is awful.
The Greek one?
Yeah. Yeah, I bought it on sale, thankfully.
Yeah. I hear Valhalla's the better of them, but
then I hear it's longer than the Greek one. And I'm like, the Greek one's already too long.
It's just everything about 2 is just every time I look back, it's my favorite.
When my
outfit.
assassin can't assassinate, I'm done with Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. It was my best visually. The outfit Ezio wears in 2 in Brotherhood.
It was
is
still very
best.
true to the
mechanic
and theme.
That was when they introduced you could hire little assassin
So
guys,
good.
and you could. I don't remember if you could choose what weapon they had, but they would have like different weapons. You could level them up with the birds, and like there's a system in place to level them up. You could send them on missions. You could whistle call for them to come and
like take out a
assassinate.
dude.
Yeah, it's just 2 had everything. Revelations is up there too. I fucking love Revelations as well.
It was shorter, too.
It was shorter, and it was just the the end of Ezio's story, and I liked it. The bombs aspect to it was great. I love custom bombs you can make. Assassin's Creed used to be good. Bring it back. But it's Ubisoft, and I have zero faith in Ubisoft these days.
There's no one I have less faith in than Ubisoft, actually. Like, there are companies that have worse, more egregious crimes. I mean, they also had a sexual scandal, too. But Blizzard's one is worse. But I don't think anyone in the AAA business is making worse games than Ubisoft is.
Yeah. And they got too complicated with the story, too. Like, Desmond's not even a thing anymore. They didn't even wrap his story up at all, and they just decided to brush him off to the side. I'm like, the Desmond story was supposed to be
Everyone was waiting for modern-day Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, because it was getting closer.
But then you make Watch Dogs instead.
Yeah, because each game was getting progressively closer to the modern day, and each new game gave you more info on the Desmond side of things.
Watch Dogs should have been a Desmond Assassin's Creed. Could have even had the same plot.
Because honestly, I can't speak on Unity if Desmond's even in it, but 3 with Connor was the last one that Desmond even plays a significant role in. He's not in Syndicate at all. I don't remember him being in Syndicate at all.
I don't think he's a part of it.
And he's in none of the RPG ones.
Yeah. I'm not even sure if you're still even jacking into a machine anymore. I don't remember.
Probably not, which is unfortunate, because that's literally what the game started as. That was like the background mystery. I always preferred the assassin side anyway, but I was like, oh, this is a cool side mystery that's part of this game. Whatever. I'm interested to see what's going to happen. I was waiting for the Desmond game.
You're waiting for the Desmond payoff.
Yeah, I was waiting for the
Assassin's Creed. It would have been so cool if Watch Dogs was like the way Desmond plays. Like, he's a hacker, and that's how he does shit like that.
I didn't know what I was expecting at all, but I was sure
on
fire
board.
that they were eventually going to make a game where Desmond was the player-controlled character going around fighting the modern-day Templars for whatever story was set up.
Nah.
And they said nah, so fuck them. But I still love Brotherhood. I still love Black Flag. I still love Revelations. I really like Syndicate. And I really like 2 and 1. Everything else can suck it. But yeah, that's my number 8. Number 7.
Also a nostalgia pick.
Bring it.
Pokemon Sapphire.
No.
It was the first Pokemon game where I could really grapple with the whole game.
Sapphire has what's the legendary of those two?
Kyogre and Groudon. The whale and the rock guy.
Oh, okay, yeah, I played that one.
Okay, fine.
I played the one that had Groudon. Is it Sapphire?
Yes, yeah. Ruby. Ruby's Groudon.
Sapphire had the... Yeah,
so that's the Kyogre boy. And including Alpha Sapphire, because I think it was an awesome remake.
I actually think that was the last Pokemon game I played.
I think it was one of the last exceptional ones.
I might have played the next one after that. I just forget what era. But, because I played X and Y. Which one comes first? X and Y or Ruby and Sapphire? Ruby and Sapphire were...
It was way old. But the remake is right after X and Y. Like, right
That's
after.
the last one I played, the remake of them. Yep. You talking the OG one?
I'm talking OG one. I do think the remake is amazing. I think it's a perfect remake, and then they just added more legendaries inside content on top of a great remake.
Okay.
to be fair. But I was talking about the OG one, because that's
Okay.
where it has the little
We'll
thing in
specify.
my heart.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've played one since that goes up to that level besides X and Y and the remake. I think every other Pokemon I would leave at this point.
I couldn't tell you which one I played, but I did play Pokemon games on Game Boys back in the day.
I played the first two. Barely got into them, to be honest. I mean, I liked them a lot, but I couldn't understand.
I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. You're just running around.
Couldn't know the
catching
goals.
Pokemon.
Yeah. Sapphire's where I finally first beat a Pokemon game. And then I didn't play Diamond Pearl, didn't play Black and White. I played a little bit of Black 2, thought it was ass.
There's something special about those old games where you played on a Game Boy or handheld, the original handhelds. I played.
It could still be special if it was in the hands of anyone but Pokemon Team.
True.
They are awful.
The new designs are just ass.
They're ass. The new games are lazy. They're lazy. I hate them.
Well, my wife really liked the Arceus game that just came out.
I also really like that one.
It didn't look bad.
It kills me because I know in the hands of literally any other development team, I could give that to Ubisoft. Ubisoft would turn out a better game, though. Like, for Pokemon Team, it was really good. It was very experimental for them, and and the final product they gave us was good. But it just kills me that the highest grossing franchise ever,
They don't put money into it.
they don't. And they're just incompetent. Like,
And
Sword and
it's
Shield
like,
is a disaster. Sun and Moon was just all right.
Pokemon still is trying to make games for kids. And I'm like, you do realize that, like, 90% of you have an adult fan base. 90% of your fan base are the people from the 80s and 90s that played these games.
And they're just turning out the same garbage. And I get the Switch isn't the most powerful thing in the world, but I even think any other studio developing specifically for the Switch would turn out a better product than Pokemon Team does.
Yeah. But Pokemon used to be good. Bring back Pokemon.
And I still love Pokemon as a franchise, but I miss Sapphire.
Yeah. Good choice. I mean,
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I have for Pokemon.
Yeah. My number 7 is The Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim.
I knew Skyrim would come on here. I only realized partway, and I'm like, oh yeah, motherfucker's gonna put Skyrim on this list. It was when Witcher came up. I was like, oh yeah, Skyrim's gonna be on here somewhere.
Yeah, that game just changed gaming.
It did. It did. I dare say, I don't know sales-wise, but it's probably one of the most successful games of all time.
I mean, people are still playing that game today.
I considered buying the PS5 anniversary
God.
remake. Because why not buy Skyrim a sixth time?
Right. I have the remastered download from 4, so I could just re-download it on 5.
To be honest, I should probably just not
You know
buy
what
it on
pissed me off?
5 and buy it on Switch instead.
Well, not recently, maybe like 2.5 years ago. I was playing through another play thing, a Conjuration Wizard, and I was getting really into. I was like in the mid 40s. That's pretty good level. Isn't like
I haven't gotten to 30 in a replay in a long time.
well, I was in the mid 40s, so I was slaying.
Yeah.
Right. They came out with some out of fucking nowhere a fucking update for Skyrim and added fishing to the game.
Yes, that's the anniversary edition.
It deletes any of your previous save files. It corrupts them.
That's brutal.
And only for that version of it that I had. So I can go on my PS3, right? And I can reload. Well, actually,
Your OG files?
yeah, because those wouldn't have an update available to it.
Yeah.
So, but everyone that on the anniversary edition, it corrupted the save files. So I was playing it when that update came, and then like I took a few days off, and I went to play it again, and it wouldn't. I forget what happens. It either won't load, or when it loads in, you're stuck in the ground, and your camera's fixed at a specific angle of first person, and you can't move.
Ugh.
So you're
Bethesda.
just fucked. Yeah, Bethesda. Well, Skyrim. That game's so fucking glitchy.
Well, Fallout's also a complete nightmare on that end.
Bethesda in general.
Bethesda.
Can't wait for those Starfield glitches.
Millions of planets to glitch on.
You're just gonna be flying and then glitch.
You'll be in the middle of a planet.
You're just gonna fly into an invisible black hole and then just be over there somewhere.
Where the fuck am I?
But I mean, Skyrim needs no introduction. Everyone knows Skyrim. Everyone has played Skyrim. I've played. I try so hard. I am the meme that it's like, oh, I'm gonna be a berserker this time, and I'm a stealth archer.
Yep. I'm not that meme, but I am. I fall into the same dual-handed builds every time, though.
It was the first game that I played where you have an option to choose that I chose a mage for my first character. Well, actually, because Diablo, I'm doing the same thing. But I almost always used to play melee first.
Beefy
Always.
boys.
Whether it be Beefy Boys or like a
Roguey boy.
daggers, sword and
Daggy
shield,
boy.
or a berserker or something. It was always a melee type job. But that was the first one I was like, you know what? We're going magic in this game.
I also respect that for its leveling system, you get better at the things you do as you do them.
Yes.
Which is the same for Kingdom Come, but I still haven't quite penetrated
Fuck
that game.
restoration, though. Leveling that shit takes forever.
Meanwhile, Illusion
Is so easy. I always love.
Muffle,
I don't.
muffle,
I
muffle,
don't care
muffle,
what
muffle,
job
muffle,
I'm on.
muffle.
It's an expert level skill that costs very low mana, so you can cast it almost immediately.
Just run around.
Just cast and muffle. It's just so good. Has great replayability. I mean,
Incredible.
I'm gonna play Skyrim again someday.
Yeah.
It's just gonna happen. I have so many characters in that game, so many hours in that game. Played it across 3 platforms. You know what I mean? It had to have been on this list.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
It right way across my mind. I'm like, I know it's there.
yes. But I mean, that's number 7. Like you, not much to say. Just like you with Pokemon. So, into number 6. Closing in. What you got?
BioShock 1.
I'm actually surprised it's not BioShock Infinite.
And I do love Infinite. I almost wanted to say franchise, but 2's kind of poo-poo.
Sadness.
2 fixed one big problem I had, but it was still just not as good of a game as 1. And while I love Infinite, I love the characters, I love the story, I love the gameplay. I think 1's story and 1's world is just a little bit better. And the gameplay
Even with Songbird in it.
Even with Songbird.
Mm.
That's one of the best twists in gaming ever, where you find out that all game long you've been being forced to do what you've been doing instead of actually being in control of your life. Because all game long, the guy talking to you through the headpiece is like, oh, would you kindly go pick up that axe and do this? Would you kindly make your way to this place? Would you kindly... You find out that's a trigger phrase for you to do what's being asked of you.
Yeah, and you can't not do it because that's the objective of the game. So to move forward in the game, you have to go grab it and go.
Because it's completely linear.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's side paths where you're going to find lore and valuable supplies.
Yes, but for the most part,
It is linear.
linear. Yeah.
It has some of the best level design I've ever seen out of a linear game. Some of the best visual storytelling I've seen. Just Rapture as a world.
I forget what it was, but I remember when I never even knew what BioShock was, and it took me by surprise. I don't remember what year it was, but I'm pretty sure it was against Halo, and it beat Halo out in 1 year for Game of the Year.
It's like,
And everyone was like,
excuse me?
what?
Huh?
Everyone, because it's fucking Halo.
Yeah.
And,
It is well deserved.
But, yeah.
It is a tough game.
I actually
Just
I
like
don't,
Fallout, it
I don't want to
doesn't
say
handle
Game of the
well.
Year, but there was some kind of award as something.
Yeah.
That
It was
BioShock.
like GameSpot magazines
Yeah.
or IGN.
It was something that I remember being a huge talking point in my community. This was before the internet was a big thing.
It's tense. It has its own little player choice thing in it. Big Daddy's iconic.
Yep.
The last boss fight kind of sucks ass, but the twist is well worth it.
Well,
And again, Rapture as a world is incredible. Incredibly well realized.
yeah. I mean,
That's pretty much all I could say. It's also a classic.
BioShock.
BioShock.
I haven't played any of them, but I've
It would
I've heard
actually-
you talk about it for a while.
I think it's a first-person shooter that you could actually get into. It's a little bit slower paced. It also handles slower, kind of like Fallout does. But it's also because you got powers in one hand and a weapon in the other.
Mm-hmm.
And almost like with the limited supplies and stuff, it almost has like a survival-y feel to it. Like you're fending off these crazed junkies who've been shooting up with this drug for years and years.
Yeah. I mean, maybe someday, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't put much stock in it,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. But I can respect it.
Absolutely.
My number 6 is Final Fantasy 12.
Oh, I expected that higher. That's
Also-
one of the two I was 100% confident would be on this list.
So, Final Fantasy 2 is what... Final Fantasy 2. I haven't even played that one. Final Fantasy 12 is the perfect in-between of action combat and turn-based. Or, I shouldn't say that. It was the perfect slight nudge into turn-based.
Towards, yeah.
That was still not quite turn-based enough to get me into it. Because that was always my turn-off of all of those games. And I still remember the day I decided to play Final Fantasy 12. We came over at one point. This was probably a few weeks before this day. We had played some PS2 games together. And you left a stack of your games at my house. And I was bored as fuck on a Saturday morning. I was just looking down at my... I can remember it vividly. I'm sitting in a chair that I used to have in my room. And I look down and I could see your stacked games. And I kind of go through them. And I see 12. I said, fuck it. I'll decide to play it. And that game owned my life until I beat that game. And I beat that game. There's one thing...
Smacked that game.
There's one thing in that entire game that I did not kill. And it was only because I didn't... It's like a super offside quest thing. There's this like sandstorm out in the desert, and you come up to it, and you can see the outline of a T-Rex that's in there, and it has to do this some kind of side quest.
Yeah.
And I was like, this was way after I already beat literally everything else, and I looked it up, and I'm like, oh, it's a level 38 side quest.
Yeah.
It's like I'm gonna go in there and two-shot this fucking thing.
Yeah, fuck that.
And there was like 4 tasks you had to do to get rid of the sandstorm to then go in there and beat it. I was like,
Not worth.
not worth. I'm good.
It's not another extreme boss to slap.
No. And I just... it's such a good cast of people. A lot of people, well, kind of. Vaughn can suck a dick.
I probably should have put 13-2 in an honorable mention. I'm just... kind of hit me.
Well, I mean, you did love that game. I love that
really
game.
love
that game
I
is
should have put
fire.
that where Kingdom Hearts 2 is.
Bruh.
Yeah, kinda.
Just looking back, there was a 0% chance that 12 wasn't going to make the top 10
Oh, I
list.
knew it was going to make it.
It's just...
I thought it was going to be like 1 through 3. I knew it was... Actually, sorry. I knew it was going to be 2 through 3.
Yes. So, was it just... I lost my thought. It was my favorite game, bar none, at a point in my life.
Probably
when I was
around the
playing.
point of my life where Kingdom Hearts 2 was my favorite game.
Yeah. So, that was... we were still in high school at the time. So that was 2007 to 2009 range. Somewhere in that year frame was when I played 12. Fell in love with it, and which then skyrocketed me into the Final Fantasy genre
In general.
and then from that into
JRPGs.
JRPGs, which just owned my life.
And your list.
Basically, yeah. I mean,
No shade.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of everything, counting my honorable mentions. Just one.
Just one.
Kingdom Hearts.
And one game inspired by a JRPG, but that's coming up later.
So that's my number 6. There's not much else. I mean, I could talk about 12 pretty in depth, but I don't want to go on this super long tangent. It's just the gameplay, just the story got me. I love the characters. Balthier is fucking amazing.
My partner's favorite's Fran.
I actually didn't like Fran. And a lot of people don't get why. They're like, but Fran. And I'm like,
I think she's part of the half of the party that's good. I don't like Penelo, Vaughn, or Ash. I like Balthier, Bosch, and Fran.
do you remember what I said to you back in the day? One of your somebody you used to know used to play 12 too, and they said that they really liked Ash.
Ugh.
And you'd mentioned that to me at one point, and I was like, nah, she's a total bitch. I fucking hate her. But she's got a great ass.
Oh.
At the time. I mean, now I'm sure if you look back, and not so much graphically.
Yeah.
But, you know, horny teenagers. She's alright. She's a total bitch. She kind of gets less of a bitch later on, but no. You can't fuck with the Balthier, Bosch. Fran's good, and I like Pinello, personally. I know people are iffy on her. Her and Vaughn don't belong in the party.
No.
They have no reason to be there.
Pinello, even less so.
Pinello's there because Vaughn's there. So she has a reason to be there, but Vaughn's there because Vaughn is Vaughn. I don't know. He's just there. But.
It's almost like he got invited, and Pinello's like, I'm coming too.
And then fucking Vane Solidar and the badass judges, man. Judges.
Yeah, Judge Armor. They've been trying to recreate that magic since.
Kuparoth.
They really have. Am I wrong?
Well, it actually comes from 6.
Oh, the 6 is where they had the sexy armors?
Yeah, 6 is where that whole, the classic Final Fantasy Empire comes from, is 6. 6 is where
their armor's
Magitech armor.
Pixels.
Yeah. So 6 has it. 7's its own thing.
No, because it went Cyberpunk and shit. Yeah.
But then when 12 comes back around, they bring it back. Even 14's is same thing of both.
Yeah,
of
let's
those.
say at 14, the Empire has those armors.
Yeah, very much so. And literally, some of the mounts they are straight out of 6. It's the same.
Yeah, the same Magitech mount things.
Yes, but that's my number 6. So into the top 5.
Top 5. Time for my cheat one.
All right, bring it.
All of the Mario Kart games besides Double Dash.
I'll accept that because
besides Double Dash.
I haven't played Double Dash.
It was ass. It was complete ass. The tracks
But-
were the worst in the series, and the mechanics were the worst in the series.
But no, Mario Kart's just fire.
It is absolute
It is
fire.
the perfect game to just have a group of friends play at any time.
And I liked even playing that solo. And I'll draw attention to 3 specific ones quick. 64, my first one personally. Still
Classic.
think it has one of the best tracks, all the best tracks. Whichever one came out on the 3DS, I want to say 7.
Oh, I don't know any of the numbers.
Because that's where I actually taught myself the real way to play Mario Kart. That's where I learned my drifting, my drafting, my coins giving me acceleration, my tricking off of jumps. All of that came from me playing online on 3DS. And then I think 8 is the newest one. And that's where I got to actually apply all that power and knowledge.
I like the one that's on the Wii.
I also like the Wii one. It's good.
Well, I mean, I don't know what numbers they are. I mean,
Yeah.
they're all great. Whatever one's the newest one, I haven't played. But, it's just because I do have a Switch, but...
We're going to
my
have a
wife
night
uses
because I have the DLC tracks that have been coming out now. And so I've played that with my family my entire life.
I wouldn't say that's a cheat. I mean, because they're all just...
I couldn't pick between 64
good.
nostalgia and the newest one because again I was even playing that with my dad like right before he passed. Like we were banging those games.
Yeah, it's just a great game. I mean, we've played it all the time in your basement with your dad, with your
It
mom,
still holds up.
all
Like,
your family friends and everything.
me and my partner played it when I bought the DLC course this school.
That's amazing. It's a great game. Good stuff. My number 5, stepping away from the JRPGs
Ooh.
and into the realm of fighting games.
Ooh.
Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3.
Hey, nice choice.
It's just, to me, the best fighting game ever made. Not objectively.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're not going to find objective with fighting games.
Yeah. It's just... So, middle school was school, home, sleep, school, home, sleep in middle school. And at the home part of that was this game. And honestly, the entire Budokai series, but 3 is the best. Budokai 3, Budokai Tenkaichi has more people, has all of these aspects to it that 3 doesn't have. It's a totally different game in with the 3D elements.
Yeah, it's absolutely a different series.
Just 3, man. I love that game. That's just all I can say. The fighting of that game. I would role play myself, being like, I'd make my own storylines of like characters doing things and then matching things up to people. Just,
I still remember getting Budokai 1 for the GameCube when I first got my GameCube, like for Christmas.
My cousin had Budokai 1 on the GameCube, and I played it a little bit there. The first time I actually played all through Budokai 1 was on the digital remaster that came out on PS3.
Ooh.
Which I got the platinum for that.
I'm actually a little emotional remembering back in the day like that.
And it did not have Budokai 2 on it because we all know that game is fucking
I didn't even touch it. I also skipped right over that one.
Good. I'm telling everyone right now, not that you're going to play it, do not play Budokai 2. It sucks.
Don't go out and buy Budokai 2 for PS2.
Well, it doesn't exist on PS2. I'm pretty sure that was still on the GameCube.
Oh,
I think.
shit.
I could be wrong.
That makes me even more confident that the Budokai 1 was my first GameCube game. Because that's what confused me, is whether or not it was my first PS2 game. All I remember is I didn't have a memory card when I played Budokai 1.
That was Spider-Man 2 for me. I didn't have a memory card. I left that game.
Spider-Man 1 for me.
I left that game on overnight every night till I beat that game. That was brutal.
That is brutal.
But yeah, man, Budokai 3, great. Which is why I like Infinite World so much too, because it's the same.
That, but more.
It's the same thing. It's harder. It's a harder game, but it has more like 3 or 4 new characters in it.
Is that the same story mode?
Nope.
Though?
It's an expanded story, so because it just goes
is it
through
still Budokai 3 if you don't have to replay the story 7 different times with Goku?
True. True. I don't know. I just love that game, man.
It's true. The story mode also slapped, by the way. That's why we put up with playing it 7 times as Goku.
Yes.
As Goku, because he's not the only story.
He's not. Because you have to play Vegeta's multiple times, too. Same with Piccolo, I think, to get... And then you have to just spam the World Tournament to get money to buy all people's ultimates, which is unfortunate, but... Budokai, this one that I have, the PS2 one, on one of these memory cards I have everything. I have everyone's ultimate, but on the PS3 one, I don't have everybody's ultimate. I
wish they would re-release that again.
I'd buy that in a heartbeat.
Same.
But they're making a new Tenkaichi, so...
Thank God. And a new Ninja Storm.
Aren't they making one?
Yeah, they're making a new Ninja Storm.
Oh, nice. But yeah, that's my top 5. What's your top 5? Moving on to number 4.
Number 4. My turn for a fighting game.
What you got?
So, I'm a huge fighting game fan, as you know.
Yes.
And there's so many different ones I could have put on this list.
Budokai 3 is the only game I was ever confident that I would destroy everyone in.
That is true. So, I have this weird memory. I feel like I beat you in Budokai 3, and you were more confident in it, and I was more confident in Tenkaichi, and you whipped my ass in Tenkaichi. This is way, way, way fucking back. So I feel like it was an inverse.
When my room was in there, I think it's reversed, because we were playing fighting games. It was me, you, and our mutual friends. Yeah. And I thought I was good at fighting games until I played you in fighting games. And I was like, oh, shit. But then when Budokai 3 came around, I vividly remember that day that we played it going undefeated against both of you.
So it was Tenkaichi I slapped in.
It's Tenkaichi, yeah. Because that one, we played our games the other day.
And I am a monster. So there's so many I could have chosen from between Mortal Kombat, Tekken's honestly an honorable mention. Any Tekken
I think
game.
I know exactly what you're going to say right now.
Oh, you better bet just by order of elimination.
It just immediately just
Soul Calibur could be there. Yeah, you know exactly what's coming.
Just say it. Just say it.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Yes.
2.
3 is the one I played.
Not Infinite. Dos. 2's the one you played with me on an arcade cabinet.
Fuck that. Because I can't play with arcades, man. Like, with the stick and the 3 buttons.
I felt so good about the day. I have such a good, vivid memory. I went like so hard on Gambit that day. It felt so good. I worked out my best team. It was like Shira Ryu, Gambit, and Hayato, the guy with the like lightsaber sword, or Cable. Cable.
I remember broken. 3 and being so.
And I do love 3.
I remember playing 3 and being so happy with myself that I was able to get Dante's combos down.
Yes, we also went really hard on 3. I remember I was Wesker. I think we all played Doctor Strange. Actually,
you know, being one. I lied. There are 2 fighting games that I'm uber confident in. I forget his name again, but I still remember.
Tatsunoko versus Capcom.
Tatsunoko versus Capcom. The one robot guy that I just like.
No. Oh God, I know who you're talking about. He had like the jets.
The jets and spears. Anytime I pulled him out, I was just like, "All right, it's time for me to win a match."
I remember pulling out the serve bot in fucking Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
The sweep one.
Oh no, that one too for Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. But you could play as just a serve bot. One little serve bot in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Half of the fucking attacks are swinging in the air above you because this thing doesn't even come up to your goddamn knee. So you're just like, hit him. 2's still the fucking best. I remember my partner at the time found a copy and bought it for me and sent it to me. And we played that shit up there all fucking night long. It was me, you, a mutual friend, and another mutual acquaintance. And we were up in there unlocking all the fucking characters.
Yes.
Together.
I do remember that, yeah.
We went so goddamn hard that night.
I don't own a Wii, so that would suck. Because that's the only game. Sorry to segue off your title, but that's the only game that I would want to play again that I have no access to being able to play again because I don't own a Wii.
I don't even know if I have my copy of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 anymore.
Well, I feel like if this is a PS2 game, or
yeah,
I feel like you would have brought it with the rest of your stuff.
It might be inside one of my PS2 still, because like that character select screen is just so goddamn good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's a great game.
Absolutely fantastic. That's all I gotta say about my favorite fighting game. Out of a stacked list of fighting games I love, Soul Calibur 2 being the honorable mention on that front.
I'm gonna write down
something
because I don't know if it's gonna be on your list or not. So,
what, you're writing down a prediction?
Something to bring up that I'm actually surprised you haven't mentioned yet, but I don't.
If it's Dissidia, it's not on here.
No, I feel like if you were going to,
it would have been already.
It would be lower than this game.
Interesting.
So, but that was your number 4.
Yep.
So speaking of my number 4, which you just spoiled, Final Fantasy Dissidia Duodecim.
Hey, it almost made my honorable mentions, but then I looked at my fighting games. I'm like, can I? As much as I love this to death, could I put this over Tekken personally for me? Could I put this over Tekken, Soul Calibur 2 and 3, Tekken Tag Tournament, Tekken Dark Tournament, fucking Mortal Kombat 9, Mortal Kombat Deception? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It got so hard.
Well, for me, because the only other fighting game behind it is Budokai 3. Yeah. Budokai 3 for me, though, was more of a solo adventure for me in, like, how nostalgic that game is and how pivotal it was for in my formative years, yes. I guess you could say. But Dissidia, man, that was, like, the first game I played with friends for friends. With me, you, and 2 other of our friends.
Yes.
Everything we did for like 2.5 years straight was this game. Every time we hung out.
Setting out round robin ways to...
Yes. We played this game.
Do 2v1s
leveling up all of our characters.
All the ultimate weapons.
Irritating the fuck out of you with Titus's ball throw.
I still remember times that we'd piss each other off when we blocked too much.
Or
we just to throw our PSPs.
The epic battles we've had of like with you, Gilgamesh, and
release
Sephiroth.
Day. So remember you having to give me money to get my copy because I didn't have enough money for it.
Just so good, so much. you losing your data and having to start fresh, and then you copied one of our datas, and then but that was sad because like 2 of the characters you really played weren't leveled.
All the ones I fuck with, man.
Ultimacia and someone else. I know Ultimacia wasn't.
Ultimacia is so good.
Oh, fuck that giant. No, that giant axe bullshit.
Because then you shoot all the arrows in the sky, and they're like, I have to rush her. I'm like, you have to rush me.
Or you think because it moves so slow and you forget you can't block it.
Or I just turn into the twisty arrows. So good.
It's the game I fell in love with, the Warrior of Light 2, and fucking so many good characters, just all across the board. There are no bad characters in that game.
No.
Maybe Bart's. I didn't like Bart's personally. But
I liked Bart's. Stop that. You're a liar. Because he's the one that had other people's attacks, right?
Yeah, so it's like...
It was great. The only person I would put as a bad character was I don't remember her name. Not Shantoto. The other one from 11. She was just not strong enough.
Prish.
Yeah, she was not strong enough.
Tifa was just better.
Her mechanics were fun.
Well, we had good fights.
And we used her, yes, but she was not strong
Tifa
enough.
and Prish. Yeah,
you're pulling off all these weird ass combos that you have to do.
And you'd hit like 6 combos in a row, and you'd think you should break them, but it didn't break them.
They're still just going, and it feels great to do it right, but you're not being rewarded for doing it right.
Yeah. Tifa's link combos, Kane's jumps.
That's the thing, they all felt so unique.
And then you could also build each character
Emperor's
uniquely.
traps.
Oh, I love Emperor. So good. And then
Jacked combos.
So good. Sephiroth Scintilla, dash cancel into it. Gabranth playing all around.
Counterman.
Yes, and Gabranth playing around EX mode.
Does this bring you back? Ting!
Fucking Omni block into the
force slam.
Send you halfway across the void.
And then they start charging the insta lock all over the fucking map attack. Oh, Golbez, flare hands.
Yes. Cecil, you could build them only light mode or only dark mode, hybrid. Just such a good game, man.
It is.
All of the maps, the Phantom Train.
I still love the 5 map the most, the castle.
Yes, the Void Castle.
Yeah,
I forget what it's
that's
called.
my favorite.
The Rift.
Yes.
So good. It's just a great game, man. And I liked the story to it too, to get all of these characters from each Final Fantasy together and see how they might interact with each other.
In retrospective, I hate the equipment system. That was a lot of effort they made us go into for a fighting game.
Yes, and then
made it very inaccessible.
The only thing too is like once you got Maximilian, though, you just slapped that on every single character.
It's so much work to get there.
And
though.
then
like,
it's the
for
ultimate
someone
weapons,
trying to be more casual in it.
Oh, there's no casual at Dissidia.
No.
We have because a lot of our times are just playing our usual characters.
Because you have to have the level ups and the equipment to make sure it's fair when you go to fight somebody.
I still don't even have everyone to max level.
Oh, I did.
Just because I didn't like Ultimacia and never played her.
Kuja.
So there's only 2 people that I don't. It's Ultimacia, and I forget who else, but there's probably Prish. No, I got Kuja up there to 100.
Shantoto?
No, because I just wanted those level 3 cast things just to fuck with it.
Yeah.
And I think it might be Prish. I think that's her name.
Prish is rough, yeah.
Yuna.
Oh, Lightning. I forgot about the
Lightning
extra
with
characters.
the three modes.
Laguna, who nobody fucking used in our
there
group.
You go. Laguna. The other one I don't have level. Machine Gun's the only good skill.
And it's a ground skill.
Yeah. Fucking Yuna was great.
Yuna, Laguna. No, Prish wasn't added, I don't think. No, yeah, because it was Shantoto and Gabranth as extra characters in the first game.
Prish was added, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so...
Tifa, Laguna, Yuna, Kane, and...
Prish. There's one more, it's 6. Lightning.
And the Feral Chaos.
Yeah, I mean, that's cheap.
It is cheap, and besides, he was so limited with what you could use on him that...
Garbaggio.
It was just, it was never a good choice to use him. You were always going to lose. Onion Knight with this fucking speed. But it's just great game all around. Love that fucking game. So yeah, moving on to
Number
the top 3.
This is the one I alluded to, was inspired by a JRPG,
Mm-hmm.
Undertale.
Huh.
Which used to be my number 1, 2 years back.
So then, the top 2 must be 2 years or newer.
No.
No.
No. One of it's further reflection on an old game. The other one's one I played after, yes.
But anyway, yes, Undertale.
Undertale, amazing. Inspired by Earthbound.
Everyone says it's,
It is incredible. It's one of those things that is, A, I subjectively love it, and B, I think it is objectively one of the best games that comes out. Because it's a game that comments on playing games. It only works because it's a video game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that even, warrants it as, the video games as art argument in general.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen you play it. It's just... I wouldn't be able to play a game like that, but I can respect the game for what it
does
is and what it does. Yeah. So I mean,
it is a story game to its core,
yes.
and solo developed, which is also incredibly respectable.
A single man,
Single man.
guy.
Who now makes the music for Pokemon games.
Oh,
Yes, he made
Nice.
the soundtrack for Sword and Shield. He also solo made all the music for Undertale, which is a 102
damn,
track soundtrack. Granted, some of those are little snippets of stuff, but
that's wild.
all of it him. The only thing he didn't solo handle himself was character designs, which he had one artist.
That's what's up.
It's an incredible landmark, especially for indie games specifically. So much so that a bunch of RPGs are now trying to ape it, like Omori, and there's another one I don't remember the name of.
But I mean, hey,
Yep.
maybe by other games trying to do that, you might get another gem out of it.
If someone listening to this hasn't played Undertale, if you're interested, it's old school look. It looks like fucking Earthbound visually, but if you
It looks
can
like
get
it
past
belongs
that,
on. It looks like it belongs on the Atari.
yeah, NES or Atari. But if that doesn't perturb you, do not look up anything about the game. Just don't. Just play it. Just play it. I regret looking up things when I went through it.
Yeah, just by the nature of the story and how things unfold and spoilers and shit, right?
Because when you, just for an early game thing, when you come to the underground and you meet Toriel and she's big goat mommy and you're about to leave, you have a fight with her, and I killed her not knowing she would die. I thought, I'm going to finish this fight and then after there'll be a dialogue, like every RPG. No, she dies if you kill her. And then I looked up everything after that point. I'm like, I'm going to reload my save. I'm going to fucking save her. I'm going to look up how to save her right now. That's how I do it. I have to hit the mercy button 21 fucking times in a row. God damn, but okay. I'm going to do that. Goat Mummy's not dying on me. And then the game knew I did that. In the next room, the fucking flower guy pops up and is even like, oh, you saved her. No. You went back in time. You changed it. You killed her. I know what you did. And then it was just over.
It knew that you reloaded.
Yep. That is my character canonically changing the timeline.
That's awesome.
There's so many little ways that the game's like that plays on game mechanics specifically.
Sweet.
But anything else would be massive. Again, go in blind.
Yeah, going blind and
It is a very
enjoy the
short
ride.
game. It's probably at most 8 hours. At most. It's probably way less than that even.
It's 2 or 3 sittings.
Yeah,
Depending on how long your game sessions are, maybe 4.
and massively cheap too.
Yeah, isn't it only like $15 or something
Yeah,
like that?
at
Probably
most.
less.
Yeah, probably 10.
Well, good for the guy that made it to
Yes.
make it
The-
be a huge success.
I watched Super Eye Patch's Wolf video, and for anyone that doesn't want to play Undertale, I would watch his video, what the internet did to Undertale, because it gives you the story of the game, and then the influence too. And one thing from that stands out is a quote from Toby Fox, the creator, saying from that day onward, my life changed in a way that I can never go back to now.
I bet.
Yeah. From going to a little guy that put out a solo developed game to having all of that eyeballs and community on you.
And now working on Pokemon.
Yeah, for Nintendo directly.
Yeah. Fucking wild.
Yeah.
Good on him, man. Good on him.
That's Undertale.
Yeah. So I guess we'll move to my number 3, which, based on what you said earlier, I'm kind of tempted to do the same thing, because with each new iteration of this game, the new one normally becomes my new favorite. Except the newest one.
Oof.
Monster Hunter.
I could see you just saying as a series for that, for sure.
So I listed here Generation/World, because those would be the two that would compete to be the best. I was thinking about it, because I was like, alright, so Freedom Unite was the first one I played. But that's definitely not my favorite, because looking back, that game's fucking hard, man.
That's the only one
It's
I played enough that I could put it on a list.
The mechanics are just like, hitboxes are, ugh. It's just not, it's an old game.
Yeah.
I played it on the PSP, not even the Vita.
For the same amount of time as Dissidia, by the way. That was another one we no-lifed.
Oh, we no-lifed the shit out of that game, yeah, we really did. I got to G rank twice because my
No-lifed
data
it
got
so
deleted.
hard, I never wanted to play Monster Hunter again.
And I became an
addict.
an addict. Where's my next one? I need my next one, man. It's been a while. I didn't. Rise was
I've
alright.
had my fix.
Rise was alright, but World is better. Generations is the one that's had the most monsters, because that's like their anniversary game that they came out. Generations is the West's name for it.
Yeah.
I think it was like Double Cross in Japan, I think. But so either Generations or World would be the best, because World, when I saw that trailer, man, that Monster Hunter was gonna get like AAA graphics, I was like, oh,
With full open zones, no loading
jizzed
screens
in
joined
my
in
pants.
between.
It was so good. But there's still a place in my heart for those old Paintball, the Monster, and go through
Drink your
loading
cold
screen.
drinks.
Yeah. Well, cold drinks and hot drinks is honestly a step up to eliminate those from the game, because they're not in Rise. They're in World, but not Rise. And I was like, good, because it's just not needed anymore.
It's
the
a
mechanic
that Tigrex and sharpen up.
Now, well, because I like the paintball aspect, because you would have to go find the monster. And you have to paintball it to know where it is. And if that paintball wears off, now you have to go find it again. The hunt aspect was there.
Yeah.
World had that too, where you got to gather its ingredients.
I just think that it could get better as you're searching. Like, no, fuck, I lost it. Now it's eating, and now it's getting a little health back.
It's minuscule amounts. How it was, because the same thing happens in the old games. If you let the monster sleep when it goes into its death for a amount of time, it would regenerate health. But in Rise, you load into the map, and it just tells you on the map where they are at all times. And I don't like that.
It's less immersive. The old games were definitely
hunt part
immersive.
of the Monster Hunter is gone.
Just like the Assassins is removed from Assassin's Creed.
Yes. But the combat has been the same for years, and that's what we're here for. Kill this thing, get stronger. Kill the stronger thing, get its gear to get stronger, and that ladder climb of Monster Hunter. And I will buy Monster Hunter until the end of days, until they stop making them, or I die, whichever one comes first. So, fucking Monster Hunter, man. Freedom Unite being the first one we played, and I've played every new one that has been available to me in the US. I bought game systems specifically to play Monster Hunter. I bought 3DS to play Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. I bought a Wii to play Tri. I bought a Switch to play Generations. And then obviously I had the Switch still to play Rise. I had my PlayStation, so when World came out, and that was cross-platform anyway. Yeah. But I would have bought a new system if World was on a different one. I would have done that, but I didn't need to for that one. And
like me thirsting for PS5 for Diablo.
Yeah. So yeah, Monster Hunter in general as a franchise. Nice. Fucking love it. We'll never stop playing it. So now we get to number 2.
a total nostalgia pick for me.
Let's hear it.
The surprise upset.
Oh.
Kirby Superstar on the SNES.
Oh. Not something I would think.
But
at the same time, I do know you love Kirby,
yeah,
but I didn't know you loved Kirby this much.
I do, and especially Kirby Superstar, because it was almost like a pseudo 5 games in one. You'd open up the menu, and there'd be the first campaign, which is just like a linear set of levels. You go to the next chapter, it's literally linear set of levels. Second one would have a world map. So like each one got more complicated as it went too, to where the fourth one was a treasure hunt. So you're trying to go through the game and collect all the treasures to unlock the next game mode, which is like a whole Meta Knight themed one. And then the last one, Milky Way Galaxy, where instead of absorbing people, you get trophies. And you just open the pause menu and you're like, I have the trophy for that power. I want that power on right now. It just felt so good as a Kirby gamer.
Nice, yeah.
It had one of the best campaigns and stories to play. It had a couple side modes, which is like the dash, the fucking soundtrack slapped. It's just the best. That and the 64 game, because the 64 game let you combine powers. So you could have a double-sided lightning lightsaber. And just nothing could quite match that.
I mean, come on.
But yeah, Kirby, total nostalgia pick. Easiest games in the world, but just fun as fuck.
Yeah, that was definitely never in a million years would have guessed that would be one on the list, or even definitely
This high?
This high. Like, wow.
Even as I set it down there too, I'm like, I can't move anything past it. I was like, I respect Undertale a whole lot more. It did way more for gaming. It is absolutely incredible deep, and I like Kirby for none of those reasons.
It's a good game that you can just put on and play it.
Ultimate nostalgia. I've played through Kirby Superstar specifically so many fucking times, because part of the problem with the cartridge is it wouldn't always remember your save, pretty much, because I have to unlock all these story modes. So sometimes I put that cartridge in and there'd only be that first mode again, and I'm like, shit, I gotta go through and unlock Milky Way Galaxy again, get the trophies and that cool feeling again. But I didn't care. I fucked with it that hard.
There you go. I mean, Kirby.
That in 64, but none of them have captured that magic since, and none of them probably ever will.
That's one thing I wish that I still had, was just a Nintendo 64.
Oh, me too, so much.
I mean, because you could
out
get
of
game
all
cartridges.
of the systems, that one would be the one I want back the most.
And then just going and fucking like a game store, I'm sure. The local one that we have, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Definitely have some.
They probably have some game cartridges in there.
Pokemon Coliseum, GoldenEye.
Oh, Pokemon Coliseum! Oh, it's such a good game.
It is such a good game. I thought about when I put Sapphire there. I was like, I can't put Coliseum. I literally just went into battles and picked the Pokemon I wanted to and fight.
They need to remake that game, man.
They do. It was so good. Make a competitive Pokemon game that doesn't make you have to play a whole story.
Yeah.
But Kirby Superstar.
It's amazing.
That's for number 2.
My number 2, Persona 5 Royal.
Oh my god. 2 lists in a row. You hit me with the upset. I 100% expected it number 1.
That game took over my life like no other, though. You think 12 took over my life? That one. You were trying to get me on this game
For
a long time, and I was just not having it. I didn't even know anything about it. The only thing about the game that I knew was the menu, the black menus that come up, because the meme was fucking everywhere.
Yeah. I knew you'd love this game, too.
I thought it was a Danganronpa type game.
Oh.
That's why I just brushed it off the whole time. I thought it was like a visual novel type thing, which it is.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Persona's a fucking visual novel.
It's 2/3 visual novel to 1/3 RPG.
It really is. But
it's a really good visual novel.
Man, I fight the urge to play it again.
That's why I'm surprised it wasn't your number 1. I was certain. I said it to my partner in the car earlier.
And he hasn't even played Royal. He's played the
At least
original.
he's played all 5.
Yes. But you haven't.
You know I got you on it.
And I knew.
But I knew it. I knew you'd love it.
Because you sent me a video, and I almost didn't even watch it. I was like, God, I was in the middle of doing
Persona.
I was like, let me just watch this fucking video.
A recommendation so good that it added credibility to all my future recommendations.
I clicked on the link, and the game sold me in the first 3 seconds. It's the opening scene where Joker's running away through the casino.
Yeah.
The opening scene, and how just the art style of that. I was like, I know what the. This is fucking amazing. Awesome. And I watched that whole video. It's like turn-based combat, and I was like, I'm downloading it right now. I have it downloaded on PS4, and I recently bought it hard copy so that I have the hard copy version of it.
That's how much you loved it.
Yes. I realized that I fucked up the first playthrough. I could have fixed my own playthrough, but I decided to just get the bad ending, and when you catch up to the time frame, have the credits roll, redid a New Game Plus just to play through the whole game again, then got to the end of all of Royal at the very end, and then New Game Plus did again. And have done that again since.
Damn.
Platinum. So I've played through the whole game 2 or 3 times, and then counting up to another time up to that like halfway section. And I will be playing it again someday. Just trying to put it off. I'm like, I don't got time for this right
too
now.
many times. You're death noting it.
Yeah, I played Strikers through. Fucking love
Thank God Persona had announcements this year.
I know, right? And then Tactica. I'm gonna get it. Persona 5 Tactica.
Persona 3 remake.
I'm so mad though. Why did they have Persona 5 Royal and they put Kasumi in it, but she's not in Strikers and she's not gonna be in Tactica? It's like, what the fuck? Just put her in it. She's Phantom Thief, man. I love her.
Take my money.
Take my money and just put her in the games. Why is she in Royal if she's not gonna be in games that come after Royal? So mad.
Brutal.
Yes. And then Persona 3 is coming remake, so I'm playing that.
And one of the Persona makers is making a non-Shin Megami Tensei, non-Persona game that looks just like Persona games. I'll find the name for you sometime. They did an announcement.
Cool.
It looked good. It had great UI.
I was looking for games that were like Persona.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it just being
like Persona
would off-put you.
Yeah, when I finally beat it, like even the first time, I was just like, you know what I'd love too about the Persona thing? Is when I beat it and got the platinum on PS5. It was the first time that Sony sent me an email congratulating me on a platinum trophy and gave me a animated background for my PS4.
It's fucking amazing.
And I still to this day it's on there, and it came with the picture of that's on my account.
Yeah.
It came with that too.
Nice.
Lavenza, and that's why I wish PS5 had. I want animated backgrounds.
Sony, I got the platinum for your game, PlayStation All-Stars. Where's my cool shit? That's your game, celebrating your games.
Nope.
Sony.
I loved that, dude. I was so amped when that happened, and then I to get that, and then
Oh hell yeah.
It's so good. I fucking loved it, and it just owned my life. And now I'm just like,
I know what your number one is now.
You do. Yeah, you
do.
should have known it from
I should
the whole
have known.
time.
I can't believe I didn't even think of this all day.
You literally.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so Persona, so good. Number one, the top game. I have no idea what you're gonna say right now.
It's Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight?
Hollow Knight.
Oh.
Hands down. Completely was blown away. Still haven't finished it, but completely blown away. I'm on the true final boss. And there's 2 DLCs after, but one of them's literally a boss rush mode with a harder version of the boss I'm stuck on.
There you go. Hey.
Yeah, so it's absolutely incredible. It is a platforming Metroidvania open world game, 2D, that is inspired by Dark Souls. And in all of the right goddamn ways, too. It has its own version of bonfires. It has really tense twitchy combat where you're just trying to get in those couple strikes in that one safe window before all the bullshit starts coming again.
Right.
It has the best exploration in any game I've seen, hands down. Completely hands down. Easy. God damn, is that a bee?
No, it's a beetle.
That was wild. Was
Weird.
fast, too.
Yeah. Weird.
It knew I was talking about Hollow Knight. The bugs are coming. The bugs!
The bugs are here.
It's story-wise, it's literally a Dark Souls game. There was like one god being that was giving them one blessing, and another god came with a plague, and you're choosing which bad way to solve the issue. But again, it has that Dark Souls feeling of you can go anywhere, on top of earning your shortcuts to get through the world faster. And does it even better somehow, because it's completely non-linear. I went to go look up, because I got stuck at one point. I'm like, well, what way do most people, what way is the way to go? I could look it up. It was like, well, most players take this way to this way to this way to this way, but you could also go this way to this way, which opens up these two ways to get to the City of Tears this way. Or you could get the tram paths here, go this way, this way. I'm like, oh. I was like, I'm just going to keep playing the game then.
I'm
But
just
that
gonna
one,
do my own thing, yeah.
Yep. But the one part where I saw about the tram pass ended up helping me and influencing me, but I don't even mind anymore. There's certain tramways to get around Hollow Nest, the world. And I found an abandoned one.
Yeah.
Wicked fucking hard, kept dying. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do the Dark Souls thing. I'm going to run past all of these motherfuckers and see what's at the end of this shit. I get a tram pass that let me use an actual train that brought me to the outskirts of Hollow Nest, to the old Forgotten Kingdom, and just all of the lore and visual storytelling throughout the whole game is just peak, like the City of Tears, where it's constantly raining, one of the only real civilizations left in Hollow Nest. And if you search around and go up around, you find out it's constantly raining because there's a leaky lake above it. Like, the whole thing is so well thought out. And the platforming is really fucking good, too.
Isn't there a second Hollow Knight? Hollow Knight 2? Is it bad?
No, it's been ages since it was announced. I was going to say look up Hollow Knight Clown Mask. Because this is how I feel now. Oh, wow, not what I expected.
That?
Yeah, no. Not even that.
That?
Maybe clown meme.
Oh. Oh, of just
them putting on the wig and the nose. Every time Silk Song's not announced, everyone's posting the Hollow Knight. Hey, right there. Actually, right there.
This?
Yep, click that one. That makes me so sad that that's under Hollow Knight Silk Song. Silk Song's the name of the sequel, for context.
And it's just been ages since it's been announced, and it's just nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, it's just a very small team. They actually had announced it on one of the Xbox showcases not too long ago. And at the very beginning, too, Phil Spencer was like, or whoever was doing the hosting, was like, and the best part about this presentation we're about to show you is that all of these games are going to be coming in 6 months or less. And Hollow Knight Silk Song was in that presentation. So everyone's like, what? There's no date there, but they said 6 months or less. No. Team Cherry actually came out recently. It was like, hey, we know everyone's noticed that whole 6 months or less thing. You're not getting Hollow Knight Silk Song in 6 months or less. We still have no date for you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
The best part is you play as, for the next one, you're going to be playing as one of the bosses from the first one.
Oh.
Which is that girl.
This one right here?
Yes.
Cool.
And it's a Metroidvania,
which
which also means as you play through the game, you get upgrades and movement upgrades that get you through to other areas you couldn't access before. So there's always that sense of you seeing something you can't quite get to yet. But once you get the double jump, you're like, that fucking spot.
You can come back to it, yeah.
And that's what leads to it having the least linear
Why is your
the least linear exploration I've ever seen in a game.
There you go. That what you're looking for?
Yes. Yep, the him putting it on is the exact part that, yep.
And save this image and send it to you. So you can share it
Every
on
single
your Twitter.
time I think it's gonna get announced. Got in the story too. Like once you get like halfway and then and the whole learn more about the infection and stuff.
Yeah.
One of the very first zones gets filled with the infection and becomes harder for the rest of the game. And just that sense that the world's evolving. There's a side character who I even looked up if you could even fucking save them. Because at first they're just mine and they're like, hey, I'm mine and I'm just trying to like do right by my parents and shit. And you can read people's minds and shit later too. And each time you see her slowly getting like, she's singing a song and she's getting a little creepier. And then one time you come back, the infection's fully gone to her. She just becomes an enemy. You can't stop it. She will only attack you. And I'm reading her mind. And it's fragments of the song she was singing. It's like, oh my god. I kept like jumping around her, reading her mind again, jumping around her, reading her mind again. It was so sad.
And you can't, there's nothing you can do to save her.
There's nothing you can do. And just so many little bits of lore like that throughout the world. Like when you beat the Mantis Lords, one of the harder early bosses in the game.
Yeah.
Every Mantis inside their country stops fighting you and will just bow to you as you walk right by them. It's so well thought out and so incredible.
That's dope.
I can't gush about it enough. And I still need to beat that true final boss. It's so fucking hard though. So goddamn hard. I can somewhat get through the first phase.
You know what sucks too when you think about something like that? It's so hard. Now you have to come back to it and you're not as fresh at the game. So you're not.
Some games I do get better at when I take a break from it. Like Cuphead, every single time I take a break from it for months and come back, I beat the boss I was stuck on. Every single time. So it's Celeste, same problem. If I'm stuck on a platforming part, I take a break from Celeste for like a whole fucking year. I come back to Celeste, I beat the whole level.
There you go.
So like I need to come back and touch in on Hollow Knight again, but I do need to learn it. And there's a couple things in the world I still need to do. There's a Coliseum I can finish, which will give me an upgrade material, and there's a really fun boss somewhere deep in a dark zone where you start walking, and at the bottom of the screen there's a little tunnel you can see, and it's you. And it's like, what? You go to the next area, you see them like, it's like, what? That's me. It's me. And you keep following it down, and it's a completely optional boss. Once you finally meet up with it, it transforms to just have you as a head, as like a predator trying to lure you.
Yeah.
And then you fight that fucking shit. It's just, it's so good.
Go play Hollow Knight, I guess.
Yeah. One more thing. There's a joke character throughout the game. You save him for the first time, and he's like, oh, what are you doing, defiling me, swinging your sword near me? How dare you? I'm the mighty Zod. Complete pushover. You go to the Coliseum, he's even there as a joke. He's just like, you just slap him a couple times, he's dead. Later in the game, there's this one girl who's a fan of you, drawing fan art in her home. You can go to her home and you see pictures of the Hollow Knight all over it. It'd be like, my white knight, my savior. She sees Zod, who looks so much like you. She's like, you're my actual savior, and falls in love with him. You go to do the read mind thing on her like shrine of Zod, and it's her mental image of him that you have to fight. And it is the hardest it's harder than the boss I'm stuck on, the true final boss. Because it's this big muscly version of him, and then it rains little versions of him, and flying bat versions of him. It's fucking hilarious.
That's funny. You find a mental image of somebody's hero.
Yep. Amazing. Again, just those little details. It's so well thought out.
That's amazing.
That's Hollow Knight. That's why it's my favorite game ever. And the best soundtrack. Just hands down, that soundtrack slaps. I will literally send you that playlist because it's so good.
I'll take a listen.
And the orchestra renditions. I'll probably send the orchestra renditions first, and then the bass soundtrack, which is orchestrated also.
I listen to that kind of stuff when I go to sleep. So.
Oh, there's some banger ambient ones too. The epic ones sound like epic classic music, but
so I like falling asleep to the epic stuff, but my wife hates it.
Oh my god!
So
Green Path is ambient.
The ambient stuff she likes, so I have to usually just go with the ambient things.
So if you listen to the playlist, it's going to end at the true boss theme, which is amazing. It even has a choir. Huh. It's fantastic. And the orchestrated versions I watch actually come from the guy that did it for the soundtrack. I learned that way later after watching them like the 5th time. I'm like, Christopher Larkin. Where do I know the name? Oh, you did the soundtrack.
Did you love it when that happens?
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
That's Hollow Knight.
That's the Hollow Knight. So, my number one.
Big surprise time.
Final Fantasy 14.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No other game comes anywhere even close to the amount of time I've put into this game. Obviously, it's an MMO. I've been playing it since launch. And I'm just sitting here like, even just based on time commitment alone, how could I ever say anything is more enjoyable to me than this? And so if it was, yes, it's an MMO, it's a multiplayer game, but like if my most played game, which my second most played game is, Smite, I wouldn't say Smite is my favorite game.
Yeah.
Or just like you don't say Apex.
Overwatch or Apex.
Apex or Overwatch might be your most played games, or
But
one
I
of
don't
those.
value it like.
Yeah.
I used to value Overwatch. If this was like 3 years ago, Overwatch would have made my top 5 for sure.
Yeah, but
I don't love Apex like that.
True.
Don't love that. Don't have the heart like that.
So it's just Final Fantasy 14, man. I've been through it all.
It has both. It has the time commitment and you like it.
Yeah, I've been through the low ends of 2.0's launch, which I was there on the Tuesday of 2.0 launch. Excuse me.
Yeah, didn't one of us play like an early access version actually, or a demo version? I'm pretty sure one of us had a taste of it before the actual.
I think one of our mutual friends, though, of the 3 of us that started playing it, maybe might have gotten in on it, but I pre-ordered it by accident. If you remember the story, I went to GameStop because at something I misheard that they were saying pre-orders for 15 were available, so I was going to GameStop for something anyway. So I was like, oh, while I'm here, I'll pre-order Final Fantasy 15. When I got up to the clerk and I said, hey, pre-order Final Fantasy 15, he said, do you mean 14? And I paused for a second, realizing that it was like one of those moments in like anime where it's like time slows down and you have this huge inner monologue. Yeah, I had one of those and I was like, shit, 15 isn't up for pre-order. It's not available. I'm gonna look like a fool. Just say yes. Just say yes and walk away. So I said yes, paid for it, walked away. I was already semi-interested in it anyway, but then at that point, I was like, well, I just pre-ordered it. Let me go look into
I must
what
have had early access then. I swear I played it before it launched.
I don't know, man, because I remember bringing my PS3 to your house to show you my character to get you into buying the game. Because I had played it initially first. You were like a week later or something like that, roughly. That's what I remember anyway. This is a long time. This is almost 10 years ago. 10 years to the month, next month. Next month is
Did you have possibly got early access for pre-ordering?
I don't
I definitely didn't pre-order the game.
No. But I was there on the Tuesday of whatever launch day it was, or whenever I had the physical copy and came home, whether that was early access or not. Doubtful, because I had the physical copy. I had to wait 4 hours for my PS4 to my PS3. I played that shit on PS3.
I still have a lot of nostalgia for starting out that game.
I still get nostalgia feels while still currently playing the game. I've never gone more than like 2 weeks without playing the game in my entire life. Or my entire life.
Yeah, for a long time, though.
For the past 10 years.
Yeah.
Maybe that's an addiction, I don't know. But, I'm here for it. And FanFest is this next weekend. We're going to get a teaser of what the next expansion is this Saturday or Friday night. Nice. I don't know which one. And it's just, I still get amped for it. The story is so good. It's an MMO. I got my own created character that I've
literally built up
this whole time. There are 2 things in my life both my number ones, when they end, it will be the biggest gaping
One
hole.
Piece and 14. The Long Boys.
The Long Boys. When those both end, I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to go on some kind of watch program. Tell me about it. The gaping hole that I'm gonna feel. But 14's not going away anytime soon.
No.
One Piece will be long over before 14 is.
Hopefully.
No,
Hopefully society doesn't collapse.
Well, maybe ours will, but hopefully Japan doesn't.
Let's keep running around buying Japanese things in different countries.
Right. Maybe Oda will just move to a different country and still write One Piece. Oh, man. But, yeah, 14. I could talk about 14 for an entire podcast worth of all the stuff that's
We could do that all night.
in that game, man. It's just... Each expansion is I'm waiting.
More fire.
Yeah. You got a lot on your plate now, but I do hope for the day that you return once again. Well, I mean, you've always taken long breaks from it and come back kind of here and there. Like I said the last time we talked about it in the podcast too, honestly, if I can get you to beat Endwalker's initial expansion, I'll be happy, because then I'm like, you've seen the story to its fruition, because Endwalker's first patch, 6.1, is the start of a new story going forward.
Nice.
So everything that you've played
through 6.0.
Well, first you have to get through
Shadowbringers. 5 points.
I like Shadowbringers more than like Endwalker, which is saying a lot, because Endwalker's amazing.
I'm still waiting for it to come back around. It still feels like a gigantic side quest to me.
Well, you were digging it when you last played it, but then you took a break because a new game came
out.
But
I still levied this at it before, too, where I'm like, we're in the middle of a goddamn war, and I'm doing all this shit in another dimension.
Yes. Yes.
Not a huge criticism, I was just like, could we have done this before the war? And I bet it's going to come back around, obviously.
You know what the thing is with the war against Garlemald? Is they pull a 15 in that aspect, where there's a much larger issue that the world is facing that you have to deal with, that the war comes second.
I thought it would be more meant it was going to be off screen, like how the...
Oh, no.
Like how Noctis' city fell.
Because like Noctis, there's the Empire, but his real concern is Arden and what Arden's doing to the world. Our main concern is characters in 14.
Arden's the literal shadowy guy behind Vayne in 12. He's the extra.
Yes. Is the Asians, who are the shadowy guys behind Garlemald. So we're dealing with the main shit. It's like Final Fantasy VII. We're dealing with Sephiroth, not Shinra.
Yes.
But Sephiroth dealt with Shinra for us, so...
So we're definitely not dealing with Shinra.
But that's our top 10s, man.
Absolutely. I can't believe I didn't think of your number one sooner.
I was surprised, too, because I knew you were thinking Persona would be number one.
I absolutely did.
How is he forgetting that 14 would definitely... There's no way.
It's like when I said there was 2, and then I revealed that one of the ones I knew was 12. You're like, oh, no.
Yeah, I was like, oh, no.
Oh, shit.
Persona's definitely the other one. I know it.
Yeah, I told my partner earlier, too. I'm like, it's going to be Persona's number one. I'm ready for it.
Hey, he can listen to this one because there's no anime spoilers.
Yeah. Hardly even game spoilers either.
No. But yeah, to recap for me, honorable mentions: Crisis Core, Warriors Orochi 4, Need for Speed Underground 2. I cheated for number 1 and put God of War 2018, Witcher 3, and Ghost of Tsushima. What did I say?
1.
Oh, yeah, number 10. I cheated and put 3. Nier Automata for 9, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood for 8, Skyrim for 7, Final Fantasy 12 for 6, Budokai 3 for 5, Final Fantasy Dissidia Duodecim for 4, Monster Hunter series as a whole for 3, if I had to choose Generations or World, Persona 5 Royal, and Final Fantasy 14.
Excellent.
Yes, indubitably.
For me, honorable mentions: Loop Hero, Fallout New Vegas, Battlefront 2 for the PS2.
Specify. Need to.
Number 10, Borderlands 2. Number 9, Kingdom Hearts 2. Number 8, Risk of Rain 2. Number 7, Pokemon Sapphire. Number 6, Bioshock 1. Infinite's also great. Number 5, all the Mario Karts except for Double Dash on the GameCube. Number 4, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Number 3, Undertale. Number 2, Kirby Superstar for the SNES. And number 1, Hollow Knight.
The one that I had mentioned earlier that I wrote down was Smash Bros.
Which honestly probably should have taken like either New Vegas' spot or Battlefront spot, because I mean I was playing that since the 64. I fucked with the 64 one hard. I fucked with Melee hard.
I'm so bad at Super Smash Bros.
Especially fucked with Brawl hard, because when they added ultimate moves, like I'm on board for that always. But especially 64 Melee, I fucked with those games so hard, even just all on my own.
Yeah, so many good games, man. It's hard to choose. So I was sitting here too, because you think I'm heavy on those JRPGs. Just all the other ones I play, like the Tales of series, the Ys series. I'm super amped for the fucking Grand Blue
Star Ocean.
Star Ocean, yeah. I played one that was just terrible, and then the newer one, I actually don't even know its name. The newest Star Ocean. That's dope. I just need to get back to it. Yeah, Tales of Arise, just all those Dragon Quest, all those games, just all those kind of JRPGs.
Yeah.
And I was just looking at them, but I'm like, none of these are like a game I would say are my favorite. They're just like, it's like a, I don't want to say it's a guilty pleasure, because it's not guilty, you know what I mean? Just a pleasure of mine.
A pleasure.
Any of those kind of JRPGs, Tales of, the Ys series, fucking Dragon Quest, those kind of RPGs. If it's a game like that, where
White Knight Chronicles.
I did play one of those.
I know you did.
Yeah. Didn't beat it though. I don't know. I want to say halfway through it, but it's an RPG, so when you think you're halfway through a game, you're actually like an eighth of the way through the game.
You should probably try Shin Megami Tensei 5.
I should.
Persona without the
Personas.
Yeah. Well, no, it's Persona without the dating simulator stuff. To be really reductive, because I just couldn't think of the words for it.
So Dragon Quest 11.
It's Persona 5 if you only spent time in the dungeons.
Nice.
Yes, it finally came to me.
So, I don't know, point two about the length of them. Dragon Quest 11, when I thought I was coming up on the final boss, turned out I reached the halfway point of the game.
Oh, that's me with Kingdom Hearts 2, because when you go through the whole game the first time, it's like, we're the organization. You have to go back through all of those fucking worlds and fight each organization member. Oh, I just remembered Zaldin, the spear guy.
Oh, yeah. With
the giant spear dragon thing with the wind blast across the screen. That is, the guide's like, yeah, just jump over it, bro. You jump over it.
Should not have high jump.
I probably didn't. That probably was the issue. I was so young when I played Kingdom Hearts 2. It's one of my first PS2 games.
You didn't play it again? Get the...
Oh, I have it.
The 2.5 edition? I have both.
I got it specifically to play Birth by Sleep again. But I've been holding out, because I started Kingdom Hearts 1, because I have the 1.5 one too. Because I had the delusion that I would play through all of the Kingdom Hearts games again.
I did. Not. No, I did. No. I don't think I played 2. I had to have played 2.
You had to have played 2.
Somehow before the 2.5 edition came out.
Did you borrow it from me then? Because I mean, I fucked with that so hard.
Probably. That's probably where it happened.
I probably was like, you played 12? Well, how about the action one?
Yeah. 12 is what propelled me into the JRPG world. But that's our top 10s. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
Dukes of Weedom Video Game Edition. You know, special episode, 25 episodes, dude.
25 episodes. And counting.
crazy.
Yes.
We're going through. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for watching.
Take care.